Hi, everybody. Welcome to Half-Drawn Tabletop's Tales of Tairiku. We are finally on part 10, our 10th session of this fun little game that I've been enjoying thoroughly. Mandy is having some technical difficulties, and in lieu of throwing her laptop out into the street and running it over, we're trying to debug it. But the show must go on, so to speak. So she will join us when she is fit and able. Our cameras are all screwed up, but we'll deal with it. Everybody at this point should know who's who, and if not, I can clarify at some point. But before we get into it, nothing crazy to report on my end in terms of announcements. I don't have anything super wild, just working on entirely too many D&D things right now and enjoying every minute of it. I also just ended up going back to work. My state is making the foolish decision, or my county is making the foolish decision to open back up, and unfortunately I am subject to being one of the cogs in the machine. So, our schedule should be the same and should be fine, but there may be moments where I have to emergency take over for a Friday evening. I highly doubt it, but, it is a possibility. So just a warning going forward. Other than that, nothing crazy, really. I'm excited that this was our 10th game. It's a lot of fun. And anybody else have anything they want to announce / discuss? Cool. Then we shall get into it. A brief recap. Last time, our band of intrepid adventurers had made their way into Yamamoto Province and had rescued Master Odd, a giant salamander who is the proprietor of one Salamander Springs. He had informed the party of a little bit of the history of the defeat of Orochi and the first Emperor Ieyasu, and also was able to give them some information on which parts of Orochi ended up where. At least, so the legends say. From there, the party headed to the volcano, where a massive eruption had recently occurred, causing a drastic change in the landscape, a belching forth of lava pouring out into the wilds from the side of the mountain that seems to have exploded. In heading that direction, the party was able to easily navigate around any of the physical hazards that may have presented themselves, being a very capable band of individuals, and found themselves at the mouth of this ragged, exploded chasm. Pardon me. In heading in to try and find where the tail of Orochi had ended up, you encountered some unique fire spirits, flaming skulls of a sort, that attacked the lot of you, but they were dealt with handily. Although, at one point or another, most of you were on fire, which was so much fun for me. And then heading forward into the inner chambers, following what seemed to have been a pre-carved out path within the volcano itself. You had made your way and discovered a large, exceptionally large, severed tail, seeming to be very well preserved, almost as if, like a cartoon Christmas ham just chopped at one end, bone in and all, and approached with caution. The tail, then, sensing your presence, began to jump and whip around, splashing hot lava all over the place and slamming into you guys, seeming to scoop it up and try and slap it onto the lot of you. A battle ensued. There was a lot of fire, a lot of violence. But when all said and done, you guys dealt with it, having defeated it, subduing it, and then finally destroying it with the 7-branch spear. That is the session such as it was, and we find ourselves having gotten rid of the fire that everybody was on and made your way out to the mouth, the entrance of the volcano itself, where you had left Hachi, who was just kind of passing his time and idly throwing random things onto the lava and watching it and get carried away while it burns. And so he kind of sits kicking his feet, sitting on a kind of a broken out piece of rock that seems to have fallen to one side. As you guys kind of emerge out of the smoky, super hot interior, breathing a bit of fresh air in a hot day, a warm day, but nothing like the interior of the volcano. You guys breathe in, seeing the clear skies, and in entering, or exiting, I should say, you find Hachi, whose ears blink, perk up as he turns and looks and goes, "Ah, excellent! You guys weren't gone very long. Are you alright? You all look, well, you look like you got left over the cook fire a little too long."
Shut the fuck up, Hachi.
Noted. Well, all limbs attached, I see. And...
Yeah.
Good.
I'm still feral, by the way.
Yeah, just...
I got thrown into the lava, so I can cross that one off the list of things to try before I die.
Is that a long list?
And yet you lived. Somehow.
I have a list of things not to try before I die, so we've both crossed things off.
Well, excellent. Well, what's the plan? Do we want to head back to the springs and talk to Master Odd? Do we want to move on?
Oh, I'm tired.
Ray stumbles up to him, grabs him by
His chubby
the-
scruff.
Yeah, by his chubby scruff, pulls him in real close. We're going to go rest now, Hachi.
Okay, gotcha. Got it. All right. Follow me. I've had a little bit of time to walk up and down, and I've found a very nice little goat path that should keep us from stumbling into more lava. Come on, quickly. And he begins sprinting down the side of the mountain, trying to avoid Ray's ire.
Thank you, Hachi.
You guys follow him down the path, and it doesn't take terribly long to make it down the mountain, especially with this little path that Hachi has found. You are able to head down, and it's only a few hours travel from here to Salamander Springs, and for the sake of brevity, you find your way back to Salamander Springs in the early evening, sun not quite yet set, but approaching. And as you do, you see a large plume of what you imagine is smoke from like a cook fire. The springs is not on fire. I should clarify. The springs themselves are definitely not on fire.
I was gonna say.
There looks to be a large cook fire being utilized. And as you approach, a very, very delightful smell is beginning to fill the air.
Heck yeah.
As you make your way in through the interior, you can see the house itself that kind of sits as the front of this, a large-scale place. Sized somewhere between the giant salamander and the mortal beings that would, or the humanoids that would occupy the space, meaning most of the furniture is definitely too big to be considered comfortable for most humanoids, but it's still too small for Master Odd, and yet it seems the perfect middle ground for this sort of strange setup that he has. The whole back half of the house being an open pavilion that puts on full display the cascading pools of the mineral water coming from the warm waterfall. Off to one side, you see Master Odd is currently got a huge cookpot and a tree branch-sized spoon that he is stirring around and seems to be cooking some sort of very delectable smelling, like rich and spicy soup. As he is continuing to cook, his head kind of pops up as he hears his front door open, and he sees you and goes, "Oh, you're back so soon." Yes?
Before we launch into the next scene, Mandy did join us if you want to reshuffle the OBS stuff, or do you just want to leave that?
I will leave it for when it's able to correct itself, unless we really need to.
Yeah, it's not a big deal.
Yeah. Hun, are you gonna be at some point wanting to jump on the computer, or do you want me to just swap the cameras around so we're all in the right spot?
I'm restarting again and trying, so we'll see.
Alright, I will just reshuffle everything around then.
I'm making an attempt.
Whoop, that's not what I wanted to do. Look at that.
I may die here, but whatever.
Best of luck.
Yup, thank.
Oh boy, everybody is all fucked up too. So much fun.
You fucked up.
Only slightly. It's not that bad. Kids, this is how the sausage is made. Everything is on fire forever and let nobody tell you otherwise at any point.
It's a little accurate. Alright.
Why is your sausage on fire?
Because
I
I'm
think
hot!
you should go to a doctor.
I mean, I've tried. Have you seen the American healthcare system? It is also on fire.
True.
Valid.
Still can't get an MRI from my spine, and it's healed by now.
Maybe my dick's on fire because everything is on fire.
Alright. We can talk about this weenie cookout later. Back to game. So, as Master Odd kind of looks at the lot of you quizzically, did you encounter trouble?
Oh yeah,
What?
we
Does it look like?
Oh come on, it wasn't that bad.
I'm just gonna pat Ray on the head. Yes, we encountered some trouble, but we dispatched it.
Ray bites at you.
Okay.
Just.
Master Odd kind of like sets down the
Time for a
spoon and waddles forward, and then seems like he remembers something, turns, and then you, I would say, Architect and Lee, you both notice sort of a sly look in his eye as he turns and his massive tail moves not violently, but kind of skates across the ground and catches Ray, and then just like boonk, picks her up and then deposits her in one of the pools where your wounds immediately begin to feel so much better. And then he just goes,
Except for the wound to your pride.
I'm sorry. I
Ray
didn't see you
scrambles
there.
out of the water, like somewhat screeching.
Oh, I'm sorry, but while you're in there,
room anywhere.
I mean, the water is good for wounds.
She just takes off behind the nearest rock formation she can find.
Well, dealt with. Okay.
Hey, be safe.
So you encountered difficulty.
Hissing noises.
Were you able to find the tail?
Oh yeah, we killed it. Well,
I'm
destroyed
sorry.
it. We destroyed it.
It's gone now.
2,000 years, and respectfully, it seems I underestimated you. I mean, not so much. I was making soup. I just thought it would be for your inevitable downtrodden march back here when you found that you couldn't deal with the thing. But
No.
It's understandable.
now
I
this
did
is
get
celebration
burned in the
soup,
lava.
and not commiseration soup.
Ass! You hear from behind the rocks.
Commiseration soup was an ancestral recipe, but we can rename it for the evening.
Sure.
It used to
Add a little
just be
lime to
wine,
it.
but you know, you have to switch to soup at some point.
Mm.
Anyways, amazingly done. I'm thoroughly impressed. Come.
Thank you.
The soup. Namitsu, as Namitsu kind of pops up from behind a rock. He's currently obviously he was soaking, and he goes, good, soup's on. And he makes his way over as best he can to plop down with a large bowl and enjoy himself. You guys are all handed your various bits of meal. Namitsu.
Ray just reaches out from behind the rock and
Hand, claws, snatch, drag. Whoop, gone.
yup.
You all are seated in your various oversized chairs and throws, and Master Odd manages to seat himself gingerly on a stool that seems to only just barely support his weight with his large bowl of soup and begins sipping and kind of looks at the lot of you. So, what's the plan from here? Where are you off to?
I don't think we discussed where we're going next, did we?
I believe we were heading into Yamamoto. Or
Yamamoto?
Ah, yes.
Either that or Kuriwara,
Whoop.
whichever
Oop.
we decide to go to.
Yamamoto is a beautiful swath of land. It's one of the more active in terms of spirits. It's always been a bit of an enchanted place. The forest that covers the vast majority of it. It's a place of intrigue. Lots of things live there. Lots of mysteries. That'd be a good
Cool.
start, and it is the next closest.
It's still as long as there's things I can kill, we can go that way. I don't mind where we go.
Oh, I'm sure there'll be plenty for that. Well,
I'm tired.
Yeah, I think we're all pretty beat.
you are all, of course, welcome to stay the evening. Free of charge.
That's appreciated.
Soup's on the house. I don't keep much alcohol around, but happy to supply you with what wine I do have.
Oh, don't worry, I'm good. I'm gonna pull out my jug of vodka. Somehow
see-
didn't melt in the fire in the fucking lava.
You see Claude grabby hand jump out from behind the rock.
Ah, no, this is not for children.
Shut up, Zavis!
Nope. It's
I'm
mine.
fixing our cameras because the wife is back.
Oh yeah. She back.
We'll go back.
She back. She back. What are these?
I made it back in a timely 55-minute manner. Don't worry.
It's okay, it's not your fault the computer's a lemon.
You just go stand there like a lemon.
It was the women.
Damn the women. I'm kidding. It sounded like you said women.
The women?
It sounded like you said
Women.
women, not lemon. Because of
It
the
definitely did.
baby talk.
The women.
Cool. Alright. Everything's back in order, I think. So, as you guys are set for an evening, there are some rooms provided that are available. And food and drink aplenty are presented. If there's anything you guys would like to do this evening, any conversations you'd like to have, let me know.
Ray, being wet, is going to scramble for the first private room she can possibly find and dive into it and bar the door.
Easy enough. You find there's a private room provided to each and every one of you. This is a nice little resort. The rooms are small but very well appointed. Simple in the meditative sense. There's not they're not like overly crowded rooms. Just very simple bedding, very simple presentation. Not a whole lot of art decorating it. Just very clean. Each room has a large window that can be shuttered, and the whole place seems very, very clean and very serene. Seems to be a place meant for meditation. All right. Anybody else doing anything this evening?
Nope, I don't really have anything.
Okay.
Meditationing.
Meditationing. Gotcha.
Meditation.
I love it. I hate, for whatever reason, so many of these camera things try to snap to one part or another of the screen when I move them instead of just not doing that. And it makes it a bit of a pain when I'm trying to get everything lined up. Anyways, thanks for enduring our technical difficulties that seem to be what amounts to session 10 of this. This has been a lot of fun. But without further ado, your evening passes comfortably, chatting amongst one another and speaking with Master Odd, hearing a few of his fun little tales as he talks about the history of Tairiku. and you guys each find your way to bed without much difficulty. The night passes without consequence. Dawn meets you the next day. As you all rise, gather yourselves for breakfast, you find that Hachi and Master Odd have whipped up a delightful morning curry, and you guys are able to discuss what your plan is for the next leg of this adventure.
So we're going to Yamamoto Province, right? Is that what we
Seems like
agreed
the best
upon?
course of action.
And
I
do
guess
we know
it looks that way.
do we know anything about the contact there? Is there who we're going to be speaking to? I mean, we can't just wander in the province and find exactly what we need.
I mean, that's
well,
what we did
I'll-
this time.
Well, we knew we were going to go find the salamander springs.
Yeah, we knew we were looking for Master Odd.
Yeah.
The only information that, oh geez, I lost his name.
Thief Master
Kasano.
Kasano.
Osano.
Kasano.
The only information that Osano gave
Kasanos.
us was that there is a demon who brokers information there.
Right.
So we'll have to see if we can gain some more information on that demon's location once we get there.
Yeah. So maybe we should ask Master Odd about the closest settlement, or where maybe he knows where we can find some information.
Indeed. Maybe we should just ask him about the demon.
Or we could just ask him about the demon. I wouldn't mind killing a demon.
Excuse me, Master Odd.
He is finished working with the curry and pats his large hands and looks over. Ah, yes, Yukio it was, correct?
Yes, thank you.
Of course. What can I do for you?
Would you happen to know any information about the demon information broker in Yamamoto Province?
His bearing tenses just a little bit, and he goes, yes, I've had a run-in with him once or twice.
Not a good one, it seems.
Well, he's, he is the Shujin Gumo.
Care to elaborate?
In simple terms, he is an extremely powerful and dangerous spider demon.
Oh, good.
At hearing this, May drops her food like all over the table on accident.
This is loud
Well-
and apparent to everyone.
Yeah. Our contact is Shujin Gumo.
I mean, if that's
Apparently.
what Thief Master Asano said, that is your best course of action. To my knowledge, anyways, I can think of nobody who would know more about these sort of things, which is a travesty in and of itself.
Ray is going to start, like, cleaning up the mess, but very ineptly.
Actually, DM,
Mm-hmm.
point of order, do I actually recognize the name? I don't-
Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
Lee was just about to ask, does this name mean something to you, May?
I was going to ask that same thing.
That name means a great deal for me, and it isn't a good name. It isn't a safe name. One could say that name is responsible for everyone and everything I am today, and I have nothing to say to this contact. I don't. He's dangerous and evil. I don't think we can't trust him. We're supposed to talk to him?
According to the Thief Master, he was our best bet to finding the piece that we need in the province, but I don't think we have to speak to him. Alternatively, we speak to him, and then I'll murder him for you.
Ray chimes in. I actually agree with Savis.
I don't know that he can be talked to. Sorry, Hilo stealing all my light. he is literally a disgusting demon that toys with lives and has he kills everything.
Well, supposedly he's a broker of information, so he'll probably be willing to speak to us since we're seeking information. Yukiya?
Do I know anything about Shujin Gumo?
Make a history check.
A history check?
Yes, Ray?
I don't like that.
While this is going, at the mention of he kills, Ray's throat hitches,
Mhm.
and
Yeah,
she just
me.
keeps cleaning.
Do I notice this?
Yeah. You're pretty perceptive.
Ray, I know I've said some cruel things to you in the past that I didn't intend, but that's because I don't want you to become someone like Shujin Gumo, and his killing is much different than anything any of us have ever done.
I got an 18, by the way.
She just keeps ducked down,
Shujin
continues cleaning.
Gumo is a unique mystery of Yamamoto Province. Nobody knows what the origin of this demon is, but he has been described many ways. The accounts widely varied. Some describe him as a simple man in simple garb who wanders into villages seeking help, comfort, a host of some kind. Others describe him as a massive, horrible, chittering spider person. But all tales account that whenever he enters a settlement, no more than 3 days pass before everybody in the settlement kills one another.
Oh, good.
And nobody has any idea why. But those same tales do describe him as extremely long-lived and knowledgeable. And very few who seek him out survive the endeavor, but they walk away knowing something that they desperately wanted to know. Yes, Ray.
So, hold on. Well, I don't know, but just GM question.
Mhm.
When you say everybody killing each other, do you mean like the entire settlement is wiped out whenever he walks in?
3 days later, as far as the tales go,
The entire thing, and people resettle there.
Well, it's not a singular settlement. Yamamoto Province is enormous.
Okay, so
It is
whenever
It is
so
the
he's
largest
like a
province.
Deathbringer. Yeah, if he shows up somewhere,
Yeah.
shit goes down.
If he shows up somewhere, that town, that village, that hamlet, that camp doesn't last 3 days.
Okay, cool.
Well, I
Cool,
suppose
cool.
I'll share this with the group then, since
Mhm.
we're already discussing it. I've heard tales of Shujin Gumo, and I'll share all of it because I don't feel like recounting it all and wasting our time. He does seem quite a danger, but I don't know that we have much choice.
Ray's going to scoff and kind of just go, "We've eliminated pieces of Orochi. I don't see why we can't squash a spider."
I'm not afraid of Spider Demon. We can go talk to him and then we can just destroy him afterwards. Not afraid of
Maybe-
whatever
Not to
dark magic.
underestimate him.
What, you think
I've
he's more
gotten far
clever than me?
along.
Do you have any idea how long he's lived? Yes, I think he's more clever than you. Child.
Cleverness doesn't necessarily correlate with age.
I'm clever.
Yes, you are, architects.
You're like 40.
Wait, am I?
No.
You said he was a I thought you told me he was a middle-aged man.
He appears middle-aged.
He appears middle-aged. That's...
I like to imagine you said that in third person.
He said as if we're reading it off of a reader card. He appears middle-aged.
He pulls out stuff like shit.
Anyway, a lot of demons are stupid. Demons are long-lived creatures, but a lot of them are just dumb brutes, so they're not necessarily clever.
This one.
Ray starts like dry laughing, just like.
Cleverness isn't always necessary when one is especially cruel. I have no questions whether or not all of us are, well, looking at Zavis, most of us are quite clever. Some less. But
He
the
sits there and thinks for
cruelty
a second.
the cruelty of Shujinkumo is I don't know. I would prefer not to be there when he's met.
Ray is going to recover herself a bit at this point, kind of go in and go, if you need more time to, we can go elsewhere first.
I don't think I appreciate that. I don't know that time heals all wounds, so I don't really know that more time will prepare me any better.
Points at the guy missing legs. It doesn't.
Another large mud clod hits you in the side of the head momentarily.
If it comes to it and we do have to slay him, we'd probably only be doing the world a lot more good and potentially saving many more villages, because he's already wiped out a lot.
Oh, I'm completely happy going and hunting this guy down.
May, if we do meet him, though, we could use your strength.
Well, the legends do say that no villages or people stand in his wake, and as far as I know, I'm the only person that's gotten away from him, so...
May, one of the sweetest sensations in the world is revenge.
I mean, it would be nice to stop him. I don't know that I want revenge, more so just for him to stop. But I guess it could be kind of sweet.
We can help you do that.
I think the matter's settled.
I think, yeah.
Hachi is just finishing his curry, and he goes, "Good, I'll get the horses ready."
You're excited to kill a spider demon, Hachi?
Oh, I'm not going to be anywhere near it, but I'm excited to hear about you doing it. He wanders off and begins preparing your things. All right, so the travel... Pardon?
I was gonna...
Yeah,
to Master Odd. I don't know if we already asked this. I only have 2 hours of sleep, but...
Every time.
Do you happen to know where we might find the demon? Specifically.
Well... More often than not, the tales say that he finds you. Although, in recent years, there has been word that has reached my ear that a small shrine has appeared that seems to be devoid of his influence, and we've heard time and time again, I've heard a few travelers say that it has been their only safe respite when being pursued by things of the forest. In a place that's normally quite dangerous, it is a sanctuary of sorts. You might start there. Yes?
Where is it?
Dude. Could you tell me more about this shrine? I have a distinct feeling I know exactly where it is.
Yes, it's a small hut located next to a very, very large and very old tree with a number of gravestones set about the roots.
Okay, well, I guess I can lead you all there.
Do you know this place?
Conveniently. I mean, assuming there isn't a second shrine exactly of this description somewhere in the same province, yeah, I do believe it to be my home.
Wait, really?
You have a home?
Mm, you could call it that.
Why is that surprising, Ark?
Did I?
Not all.
I have a feeling half of us here would say no to that.
I mean, to be fair, do we see Ark as having a home?
Who
Truly?
here doesn't have a house?
Privilege!
Cirrus, I imagine, is also raising her hand.
Yeah, yes. People are honored to let me stay with them, okay?
Zavis,
Honored or scared?
Venerable hobo, Cirrus.
Yeah.
Venerable Ronin.
Vagabond story.
Yes.
Josh just shakes his head. Where'd
Well-
you store your stuff?
I can definitely lead you there. Something just dawns across my face very obviously. Oh, if I'm here though, that means that it is currently not so much a sanctuary, so oh boy. Oh boy. We should get going.
Well, Master Odd did specify that the sanctuary was empty, didn't he?
That is true. I'm usually occupying it with my Kodama, who keep it safe, and I'm here.
Oh. Hmm.
But, I mean, yeah, we should probably just go there.
Maybe you should have put up a sign.
You know, I don't. I never particularly wanted visitors to begin with there, so
Well,
it wasn't
isn't
really.
your home a shrine? Wouldn't you get pilgrims?
Not really. It's right on the edge of a super dangerous forest, inhabited
So?
by all kinds of horrible demons, and
So
we didn't really get much in the way of pilgrim people things. I don't know.
weak.
I was muted, but I said, respectfully, Zavis, spirits and demons don't listen to signs.
True.
Maybe you're not persuasive enough.
I have no response for that.
Yes, Ray?
Ray is kicking Zavis in the shin when he says weak. Like, as hard as she possibly can.
Alright.
I'm just.
Well, I can lead you to the shrine, and it's not a bad place to start by any means. Whew. I have a lot of not so great memories there, but it served a very nice home, so maybe I can tell you more about it as we get close to it.
Yes, Ray?
23
Sounds good to me.
strength check.
Huh?
23 strength check to kick Zavis in the shin as hard as humanly possible.
I
You
mean, that
definitely-
hits my AC, but you gotta roll damage.
It's
You
an unarmed
managed.
strike, so it's 1.
Oh.
You managed to slide
Plus
his. You managed to slide his foot back,
7.
and he stumbles for a moment, and corrects himself and glares at you.
7
Pretty
damage.
much.
Okay.
Ow!
Hey, Zavis.
Cat goblin. What?
I made this thing. Come here. I want to try it.
It's just gonna like. All right, fine. I'm curious. And then come over after giving you a look. What?
Is there anything nearby that could be used as a arm wrestling-esque podium?
Yeah, there's a table.
Art
Any number of
sits
these
down.
tables?
Ark sits down and throws his hand up on it like, let's go.
To arm wrestle?
Yeah.
But don't you have magical strength gloves?
No, I got rid of that.
I think you're lying to me.
I do not have that anymore. Hey, wait, Zavis wouldn't have known about my magical strength.
No, you mentioned them before. You mentioned
You
them. He
did.
remembered and he called you a baby for using them.
Oh.
Yep.
Well, I don't have that armor anymore.
Okay, but.
Okay, you're scared. It's fine.
You know what? Fine. I'll try in your magical strength gloves. But I do have a question.
Mm-hmm.
I have advantages on spell attacks and magical effects. Does this count because it's an enchanted weapon?
It's not a weapon.
No.
Damn it. Okay, that's fine.
Okay, as
I'm
you
going
slam
to
down
roll.
your elbows, grip hands. Go
I
ahead
don't
and
know
I
what to roll.
suppose make contested strength checks.
Can I be looking
man,
very
just
closely
one?
for
Okay.
Ark to
Well, what
be
you're gonna have is a
like
5.
fiddling with anything?
Sure. Make
He
perception
has-
check.
If I notice anything out of the ordinary, I'll try to sleight of hand it away.
Yeah, make perception check.
Okay, so you said just pure strength, right? Not like athletics or anything?
Nope, just a strength, an
Just
opposed
pure
strength check.
Yeah, I only rolled a 13.
What did you roll, Ark?
I rolled 20 and I got a nat 1.
Okay. So as you set down, Zavis, you very cautiously kind of like lock eyes, and instead of going full bore because you're afraid that there's going to be some repercussion, you just kind of push, and you see the architect just and twist, and you thunk.
And I'm just gonna hold his hand there for a second and be like, "You're a very strange person," and then get up and walk away.
I'm gonna like lean towards the nearest person and be like, "Have an easy on him."
You end up rubbing your elbow against Naomitsu, who just shoots you a glare and then sidles away.
You know, if he wasn't such a jerk, I actually checked my infusions list as an artificer, and I can make prosthetics, but I am not giving up two infusions.
Why are you calling him a jerk after what you did to him? He has an appropriate reaction to you being an asshole.
Me giving him 2 sheets of my art that I could have commissioned out, and him assaulting me?
You gave him shitty ass doodles, Ark.
They're better than the legs he
Yeah.
has.
He didn't have.
They're better than the legs he's got.
No, they're not.
Yeah, his new monk title is the Origami Shins.
Fuck.
Whoops.
It's better than his previous
Y'all going to
name.
jail.
Shin no more.
All right. So,
I'm calling God and then the police and then jail.
okay.
Call the jail directly.
Yep.
Come get your mans.
I'm gonna start messing with my
I'm
wrist
okay, I'm
bracers after what just happened.
Okay.
Things aren't working. Alright, well, whatever. I'll handle that later.
All right. So I take it you guys are gathering your things, bidding your goodbyes to Master Odd and Naomitsu, and then heading off.
Yes.
I
Alright.
think so.
To note, while we're traveling, Ray is going to alternate between Yukio and May, trying to get as much information as she can about this fucking spider demon.
Okay.
May, she's going to take, like, a surprisingly reticent tact? Like, okay, so when Ray is talking to May, it's going to be along the lines of, alright, it's going to be encouragement to try and get her to engage in the battle,
Okay.
not necessarily try to extract information. When she's talking to Yukio, it's just like, okay, so how can I hit this fucker in the nuts as hard as I possibly can?
Yukio.
Spider nuts.
Spider nuts. It's where the webs come. It's spider nuts.
Ew. 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 Ew.
Ooh.
Sorry. Continue.
He's
This is why
it's
I
a
mark
web.
these things on YouTube as not for children.
Yeah, probably wise.
I curse too much for this.
All right. So I guess encouraging May, and then Yukio, if you'd like to make an Arcana check at Ray's prompting and prodding.
Sure.
I don't know
a dirty 20.
how willing is how willing is Yukio to like divulge information?
I mean, in this case, yeah, pretty willing.
Okay,
We're
fair
all
enough.
going to visit this spider and potentially kill it, so I see no harm in sharing the information with you.
Cool, cool.
Cool.
And that was
What's
a
your
20 if you didn't hear.
What's your passive perception, by the way?
I want to say it's like 14. Let me double check.
It's probably obvious
15.
enough at this point. At this point, Ray is exhibiting common signs of mild exhaustion.
I see.
All right.
Curious.
Excuse me.
Considering we were just at a magical hot spring.
All right. What are you got on your roll? What did you get on your roll? Because I know the English language
20.
in some measure.
'Twas a 20.
20 in total.
Yep.
Well, in understanding what you know about Shujin Gumo, you know that he is a very powerful old demon. You know that he has numerous children of sorts that work for him, that serve him.
Like that.
And you know that he is a very powerful mage. He wields, for lack of a better way to put it, he wields fiendish magic and seems to be able to suffuse environments with this fiendish influence. Nobody really knows exactly how he goes about doing that, but he seems to be able to affect large areas very quickly.
Okay. I will relay that because I don't have the information retention to to parrot it all back at the moment.
Fair. I will move
He's
y'all
bad
to
news.
the next screen.
Big evil juju.
The traveling in and of itself is easy enough to do as you guys take off. You are already close to the like northern portion, or rather you're on the northeastern portion of Matsu Province anyways, not far from the volcano itself, and so you're able to just travel kind of skirting along the volcano until you can cross into Yamamoto Province. The crossing is not marked by any grand bridge or anything of the like, but you notice that after getting some distance away from the volcano itself, the landscape transitions into much taller, much straighter trees and a significant increase in the greenery around. Less fruited things, more ferns and other like tall pines, and more green landscape. A lot more Pacific Northwest, to put it simply. There are numerous paths, and may make a survival check for me.
My screen went to hide to take a nap. Let's see, survival. Okay, I got an 18.
18. You've got a decent head for distance and directions and stuff like that. And by your estimate, you think you're probably about 2 weeks travel from your home, if you were to go basically in a straight line.
Okay. I relay that.
It's gonna be quite a walk.
Yes. So,
It's definitely no short march.
for
Yeah,
the
carriage.
for the purposes of this, I will have 2 people roll. I need 1 d20 roll, which we will resolve, and then I will need another d20 roll. Who would like to start?
I can.
Sure.
Time to give him the D. A 2.
Oh no.
Okay.
Today does not seem to be my day for rolling.
Higher, lower, higher is not necessarily better.
Higher's normally better. In almost every case.
Okay. So,
We
as
all
you
die.
guys are traveling, it's several days of travel. You go about 4 or so days. The thing you notice immediately about Yamamoto is it's a large province, and it is not densely inhabited or densely populated. On one day, you come sort of near a farmstead, but feel no need to stop, as you see just one simple farmstead and a large swath of farmed and tilled earth. Crops that are in their near full bloom or nearly full fruition for harvest. You travel for 4-5 days, and on the 6th day of travel, you've kind of been making your way through a small copse of woods, and you notice up ahead of you in a clearing, there is a small encampment.
I can scout ahead.
I'll accompany Lee.
Okay. As you guys go ahead and make stealth checks.
I will cast Pass Without Trace.
Okay.
Cool. So that's a 24 for me.
Alright, and what did you get, Lee?
Let me double check my bonus.
Gotta love that plus 10.
Yeah.
It's really good.
I got a 31.
Alright. You guys are able to sneak up and you find an encampment. It seems probably 6 or so tents, 2 of which are much larger than the others. One seems to be closed off, the other just seems to be sort of like a half tent, like it's a roof with open sides for the most part. And you see a kind of a makeshift table that's been set up, like kind of like hastily built, with a couple of pieces of parchment kind of laid across it, weighted down with stones. You see, this camp looks like it could easily hold probably 8 or so people in it, just kind of counting and doing the math. But you only see 4 individuals. They seem to all be kind of gathered, sitting just to the side of a cook fire. And they are you notice an elven man, a simple leather garb for the most part, leather and cloth. He has an unstrung bow just kind of resting on his back with a nearly empty quiver. He's got his hair tied back in kind of a low braid that hangs below his head, and he's got a wide-brimmed hat that seems to cover and kind of shade him. A very loose sleeve on his left arm, and comfortable, it seems like, hakama pants tied around the legs with string, as well as sandals. You see next to him a very, physically imposing red-skinned woman, her hair just stark white, pulled up in a high ponytail, with a pair of short red horns kind of poking out of her forehead, several black tattoos across her body, with a pair of sizable kanabo, which are the metal studded clubs that are just kind of set to one side. You see 2 other individuals, a smaller, it seems like a gnomish man, who also happens to have a bow, and a similar kind of wide hat. And then you see a young woman, seems to be human, and she has a long spear kind of set to one side. And they're all just kind of seated on these little the cloth and wood kind of cross simple stools. What's the best way to describe them? Like a shogun's stool, if you know what I'm talking about, or like a director's chair without the back. Just kind of the easily foldable portable stools. They're all just kind of sitting and kind of talking quietly amongst themselves. Looking at them, they look to be fairly heavily bandaged. And it looks like the young woman who has her spear set to the side, is currently rummaging through a large, like a lacquered wooden box, and seems to be pulling out sutures and bandaging and salves in little pots that she's setting to the side, and seems to be undressing, treating, and redressing these wounds. Yes.
Can I cast True Seeing?
True Seeing? Absolutely.
I'm mildly suspicious.
As you take a moment and recite your incantation, and your eyes kind of flash with a purple light, you get a very clear vision of the area around you. You see these 4 individuals as they are. They are not any illusion. They seem to be themselves. You see the red-skinned woman, which you would know to be a form of Oni, a yokai of sorts. You see a faint, like almost completely translucent sort of wreathing of flame that kind of seems to dance between her horns, but you know that to be just more of a representation of her aura than anything. Just kind of being able to see her, kind of the traces of her true, demonic lineage.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily an alarming sight. And as you look, the only thing that catches you out of the ordinary is actually, you know what? Make a perception check.
Okay.
I know that's kind of a leading statement, but there's reasons for it.
22.
As you looking beyond these individuals and looking into the trees, you see, and it's really, really hard to describe, just an impossibly thin glimmer that seems to be just kind of drooped along one tree. Just an extremely thin line that just barely catches the light.
One might say a strand of spider silk.
Could be.
I have my spyglass out if you want to ask for it. 'Cause you see me in your peripheral looking.
Yeah, I'll just turn to Lee. Hey, could I borrow that for a moment?
I hand Yukio my spyglass.
Okay.
Can I get a better look at this?
And pulling up the spyglass, it's still hard to see, and it takes you a moment to kind of adjust to look, but it looks remarkably like spider silk as you've seen it in the past, but it is impossibly thin. And you get the sense that without your true sight, it would be nearly invisible. And it's just a single strand. It seems to be about 8 feet long or so, disappearing back into the tree. And it just seems to be hanging like it might have been attached to something previously, but is no longer. It's just kind of like just left there, just kind of drooped and hanging in one of the trees.
Okay.
It doesn't seem taut. It doesn't seem like it's part of a long network. And you do see that although it disappears into the trees, it looks like it terminates, so it's just a strip that's just hanging there.
Okay. Interesting.
While I was using the spyglass, can I look for any like insignia on the people or any way to identify who they might be?
Make a perception check.
And also signs of how recently they fought, because it seems like they were recently in an encounter.
Yep.
I don't know if the spyglass gives me a bonus on that, but I rolled a 16.
All right. In looking through, there doesn't seem to be any particular insignia that they are wearing. Their garb is relatively varied. They all look like they're wearing styles that you know are common in Yamamoto Province, very like workmanship sort of clothing. It seems like their attire is very much akin to that what farmers would wear, but a little bit more put together for protection. And it looks like their fight, you would guess they battled probably early yesterday at the absolute early yesterday or yesterday afternoon would be when you would guess. And it seems their wounds, although well dressed, your guess is that they have no magic to heal themselves, which is not surprising, as magic to heal is not always the most common thing. And they are simply caring for themselves as best they can. In deducing and looking around, you definitely notice there are 8 bedrolls, and there are only 4 people. The general dejected sort of demeanor that the party has about them seems to imply they suffered losses.
I'll go ahead and relay to Lee information about the spider thread. I don't really think it's been used recently, but it's definitely there.
Okay. It looks like they've lost some numbers and their battle was early yesterday. If you want to go back and grab the rest of the group, maybe we can have a talk with them.
That's what I was thinking as well.
I'll remain hidden in the area.
All right.
In case anything goes awry.
Yukio, you're able to retrieve your companions without much difficulty, relaying the scene to them.
And I want to keep an eye out for any more strands of silk.
Okay. How long does your true seeing last?
1 hour.
1 hour. All right. Duly noted.
Nice. And I will sneak around to get like a vantage point to where, if for some reason things get hostile, I can maybe get a good surprise attack really quickly.
Okay. Make a survival check. See if you can locate a reasonable location.
Okay. Ooh. That's a 23.
23. You find a nice, fairly tall and sturdy tree with a lot of lower hanging limbs and a thick foliage around it, so you're able to scurry up the backside of it without being noticed, and you can get fairly high up as the branches tend to thin as they get higher. You find yourself at a good vantage point about 30 feet off the ground, and it's only about 40 or so feet from the group of them.
Excellent. I will be perched there while the party interacts.
Yep. Yukio, you collect your party members, explaining to them the scenario, I take it?
Yes.
Okay. You are all informed that this party is wounded, dejected, and seems to be trying to administer medicinal treatment to themselves. And so approaching aggressively might spook them. How do you guys want to approach?
I want to approach.
How would you like to approach, Ark?
I see a big red person. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to drink my potion of resilience.
Okay.
I don't like getting hit.
This has worked really well for you every single time.
Yeah, that's why this time I'm drinking a potion ahead of time.
Okay.
I'm going to drop that by 1. My AC goes up +1 for the next 10 minutes, but the thing is, I get temporary HP, so that is...
You know, I should probably stop Ark, but I don't think I'm going to. Because it's kind of like looking at a house fire, you know? Like,
it's very much like that.
You just can't look away. Like, it's awful, but...
2d6 + 5.
Okay.
That's 7, 12. I get +12 HP. Oh, that's not right. That's not right at all. No. Okay. I'm going to I'm going to tell the party, I think you guys might not want to stand directly inside it first. We're kind of a big group.
You're going to do fucking Gandalf introducing the dwarves to Beorn?
Yes.
I don't know, I kind of felt like it would be better either to have, like, well, really just all of us walk up calmly. But
there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this guy looks terrifying. And I'm going to point at Zavis. Oh, sorry, I mean him. I'm pointing right. Oh, no time like the present. I'm going to start pulling out all my health potions and start walking towards them.
All right. As you You have like a bag of holding type device, I imagine.
Yeah, I have a bag of holding.
All right, yeah. You pull out a wooden, like a lacquered wooden chest with clinking bottles, and you begin just like a bartender going into a back room for storage, and trudging forward with your clinking glass vials as you make your way. You approach this little clearing, and as soon as you clear the trees, you notice a couple of things. One, both of the archers that are present have bows drawn and have steady aims on you. Two, the large Oni woman with the twin clubs has both of her clubs out and at the ready, kind of at either side of her, and you can almost see like heat or steam kind of rising off of her from where she's heavily bandaged. And then you see the individual with the spear currently like trying to quickly pack up her medicinal kit. Yes, Ray?
Ray is going to sigh and use all of her action / movement to move up and just like bolt next to the architect.
All right. In a moment, you appear right next to the architect as the two of you are kind of elbow to elbow, so to speak.
She's going to slide down, go into a bow, and say, "Please accept these potions of healing."
All right, Ark, is there anything you'd like to do?
What the? Do you bow to everybody? Jeez. You guys want something to
Only when
drink?
they're
You
going
look
to
pretty
kill
beat
an
up.
asset.
Oh, you said something about my ass. You guys want something to drink? You look pretty roughed up.
I'm 12!
The taller elven archer, his bow very clearly trained on you, looks at you very seriously.
Ark,
I'll
set it
just walk
down
out of the woods
and let's
with my
back
hands
up.
Who are you?
We mean you no harm.
I'm
We're
a
a group of adventurers. We noticed that you had some trouble. We wanted to help.
Awfully altruistic of you.
Yes, a couple of us, a couple among us are quite like that.
You
What
want
happened
them?
to you guys?
Look, I was 20 feet away from you earlier and you didn't notice. If I wanted to do something then I could have.
That's
Fair.
how you make friends.
We obviously are not in the best condition.
You're looking
He
pretty
just
rough.
kind of turns and he waves his hand at the other archer and then puts his hand on the shoulder of the large Oni woman as she kind of
I
just
assure you, we mean you no harm.
she just kind of tosses her clubs to the ground.
Oh, those things are so cool.
The leader, a parent, raises a hand and says, I am Mugen.
I am Yukio.
Well met. We, you're right, we did run into a spot of trouble.
Just one spot? You look like you ran into the whole cow of trouble.
Please ignore him.
That's
That's just how he is.
probably the more
Ark.
accurate description, honestly.
Ark, shut up and start handing out potions.
If
Don't you have somebody to go kick?
You, if you don't shut up and start handing out potions.
If they continue to bicker, Yukio will just open the chest and grab some potions and walk them over to the group.
they graciously accept the potions, drinking them as their wounds begin to knit magically. Yes, Lee?
Seeing that this seems to be going cordially, Lee is going to focus more of their attention on just keeping an eye out on the woods around
Okay. Make a
for
perception check
any
for me.
creatures that might approach. And this will just be a continual thing while we're
Yep.
interacting.
How many people were there here?
There are 4 in total.
And 8 bedrolls.
Yeah, 8 bedrolls, but 4 people present.
Okay, so I had 5 potions, so now I'm down to 1.
Why
I was
would
just
you use your
thinking,
potions
why are
when we
using
can just
potions
heal?
when- yeah, we have
'Cause-
healers.
Because I can make them
Fair,
daily.
Oh, okay.
fair.
So don't complain about having none today.
Wait, what?
What'd you get, Lee?
I got a 13.
13. All right. Mugen says, yes, Ray? Did you have something?
Yeah, is the rest of the group, like, walking up to join at this juncture?
Yeah, it seems to be. Except Lee is continuing to be a MIA, scouting to the best of your knowledge.
Hey, Zavis, do you have a crossbow?
What? No, why? Why do you want a crossbow?
I don't want a
What
crossbow.
is wrong with you?
I already have a crossbow. Here, May.
Why
take
do you
this.
want...
I'm gonna hand my crossbow to May.
I'm so confused.
Why are you giving me this?
I made a new. I'm working on some new stuff. I need you to shoot this crossbow at me.
Oh, I'll do it. He feels good. The crossbow out of May's hands and shoot Architect.
Ray will interject. Don't mind. They're like this. I'm sorry.
This is some catharsis Yukio could use.
Okay, go ahead and make an attack roll against the architect with the crossbow.
Healing if it goes too
So
good.
this is just like a normal weapon, right?
Yeah, I imagine you're proficient with crossbows, so
Yeah, it's
So
simple
that's-
ranged weapon.
1d8 damage.
8.
You're proficient, so it'd be dexterity
So I'm
plus
just gonna act
proficiency.
like I'm rolling. I think my dex is. I literally just looked at it. Come on, Cameron, get it together.
Figure it out, man!
So that's gonna be +7, which is a 22,
Okay, so that would hit.
Yeah,
and then 1d8 damage. you
Yes.
said?
1d8 plus
Yes.
dex.
Plus dex.
Wait, what? Why does mine not have a plus anything to it?
What is
Because
your
you're not
dexterity
proficient.
modifier?
He's proficient in it.
10 damage, by the way.
You dumb.
All right.
Oh god. Does
Uh,
this count as a save? 1 second.
no, there's no save.
Oh,
It's an
Oh.
attack roll. Your AC is your save.
Give me a second.
Just wondering if he made gloves of arrow snatching, or if he thought he did and didn't, and is now just gonna get shot.
I'm so glad I gave myself temporary HP. Okay, oh my god, I
I
rolled a
honestly
10!
just hope he just
I rolled
gets
a
shot.
10! I caught the arrow!
So you have gloves of arrow snatching,
Missile snaring, but
missile
yeah.
snaring. Yes.
I,
So as you
Oh.
like
oh my
very
God.
quickly like walk over, I'll do it. You just kind of grab it and just like turn unceremoniously and without like fanfare, just shink, fire off at him, and it would hit just square in the breast there, and you see his eyes like widen for a second, and the only part of him that moves is one hand, and he manages to snatch like this quicker than the eye can see, and is holding it, and the bolt is just like and just like quivering. You feel a
Seems to
slight
work.
prick on your chest, and as you pop forward, there's just the tiniest little touch of like blood, and your hand is doing this.
I'll just walk over, flip the crossbow around, hand it to him by the hand, or like with the handle towards him. So it seems to have worked, I guess.
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Architect, that's so cool.
Don't
What
do
is
it
that?
again.
Okay, I mean,
Wait.
you asked.
That
Wait,
was really
if
cool.
I shoot you with an arrow, will you catch it?
I hope.
Can I try?
Mugen just kind of goes, "Are you all a
We just met.
circus troupe?"
No,
you could
we're.
say that.
What are we? Adventurers? No.
Adventurers, yes.
Adventurers?
That's the most
Uh.
apt description.
Forced
Architect
together,
is, well, he's
chosen.
the architect.
Chosen.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. I think we're getting off track. What? Why were you guys attacked in the middle of the forest? What attacked you?
We were demon hunting.
Oh, I respect that.
There's been increased activity in the woods, and
Mm-hmm.
it has been leading to many problems for the people who live nearby. The farms
As
have
to be
been
expected.
raided. People are dying, and we can't have that. So,
Just out here tracking down demons?
yes, we were.
All right.
And
Oh.
there was a group of 8 of us. And several of my troop turned and took arms against the 4 of us. Out of nowhere.
Oh.
Did you, by chance, receive any other mysterious visitors apart from us in recent days?
No,
It was the spider.
I
Oh, what was the name of that demon again? I'm gonna look to Yukio. I remember things.
Shujin Gumo?
It's Shujin Gumo.
That one. Have you heard of that one? I imagine you have. Your demon hunter.
Yes, I suppose that it may have been him. It was strange. The looks on their faces. Panic. Like they had no idea what was happening, but they fought as able-bodied as they'd ever fought before. We're the ones who survived. We have limped our way back to camp and have spent the last day or so trying to recover before we're fit enough to leave. But thanks to those potions, we should be hale and hearty enough to get the hells out of here.
Yeah, you should probably get out as soon as possible. Or actually, do you know much about the demons? You were actually looking for that particular demon.
Zavis!
What? They're demon hunters.
We're not professional demon hunters. We're locals. We got together because we felt we had a better chance than the farmers. Yes, Ark?
Ark's gonna point at the giant girl and be like, "Not professionals. What the hell was she? The local baker?"
She looks at you and kind of gives you like a grunt. You can see as she grins at you, her teeth are just fangs for the most part. And she says, "Yeah, I'm really good at kneading dough."
I like her.
I do too.
She cracks her neck and just kind of walks off to go start packing things up.
So, was the demon you were hunting responsible for this? Would you know? Do you have
No,
any more
we were-
information on
They
the
were
demon you were
just-
hunting?
We were hunting serpents. Like small dragons, but they fly, simple demons. Nothing that's, I mean, admittedly, still plenty of a problem for the common folk, but nothing that I haven't dealt with before in the past.
I'm guessing I am aware of these. If
Yeah,
they're
they're
kind of
just
fairly
simple
common, so-
serpentine demons, many depicted with ugly faces. They're little more than animals. They just happen to be fiendish. They
Okay.
hunt, they kill, they plague areas. They're very common around
Oh,
areas
yes.
of high demonic activity. They tend to swarm like other demons. They swarm around other more powerful demons.
Okay. Has the serpent population been out of hand lately then?
Yes, the last few months, yes. Amongst other things, we were just dealing with what we thought we could handle. Clearly, we were wrong.
There's some pretty nasty things in this forest, from what people have said. Probably shouldn't have gone in if you only thought you'd fight serpents, but you know, to each their own.
I mean, are we really criticizing them? Look at our group. Are we
What?
criticizing them?
I mean, we're level
We're
10s,
strong and
so-
capable of perfectly killing most things.
I hope that was an in-character comment. Yeah, well, we're level 10s. So.
No, that was not in.
And you should be level 11s.
I'm just saying, oh yeah, level 11, so that's right.
Sure.
We're like heavily experienced, and these people
Yeah.
don't sound like they're heavily experienced.
Your average
so.
person is like level 0. Like,
I think Ark's point was we have a child, a lunatic, a whatever May is,
Adorable.
and like 2 ninjas and Conor McGregor. Like,
I was
Connor?
wondering.
You could have gone with Ronda Rousey, but okay, I'll handle it.
Connor
wait,
McGregor.
has Cirrus been a girl this whole time?
Cirrus is a girl, yeah.
Cirrus
Cirrus
is
is a
female.
woman.
I was 100% unaware of that.
Wait, are you calling me the lunatic and you weren't referring to yourself?
No, I would call you a psychopath. There's a
Thank you.
difference.
There's a difference. God. Respect.
Oh man.
I get none.
Mugen says, kind of speaking up and cutting through all this oddities, I don't know exactly what you're doing, but honestly, we're just going to pack up what we can carry and leave. You're welcome to what's left of the camp if you need to stay here for the night. Just keep an eye out.
Yeah, I don't think I
Same
want
to
to
you.
stay here tonight, but yeah, good luck.
Right.
Well, it doesn't sound like they were attacked in their camp. But, well,
Mm-hmm.
attacked.
Yeah, they were.
Yes, right?
Which one's the leader? Which one's the leader again?
Mugen.
Mugen. And that was one of the archers?
Yes, the elven archer.
Right. So Ray's gonna kind of like grab him by the cuff on his way out.
Mhm. Yes, what can I do for you?
What information can you give us?
I'm sorry, I'm not knowledgeable in this area. I
Yeah,
I
don't
live
seem to know
nearby.
anything, Ray.
My family lives nearby. I'm an accomplished hunter, and I thought that would be good enough. I've fought a few demons in my time, not many, but I survived and was able to put them down, and I thought that me and a few other capables that lived in the area would be able to handle this.
Well, to
Did
be
you
fair,
kill all of them?
Serpents?
The ones that turned
And
against you?
We've killed a few, and we've probably...
No. Did you kill the ones that turned against you? All of them?
Who raised this child?
Yes, they are all dead.
It wasn't me.
to your credit, if it had been just serpents, you probably would have been fine.
Yes. Having to put a friend down is the worst thing I have ever done. So, I'm happy to leave it in your capable hands if you are traveling through here. Is that your purpose?
You could try getting
Seems
thrown
to be-
into lava. I'm pretty sure getting thrown into lava is the worst thing I've ever done. But, you know, to each their own.
Ray is just... The eyes are going to dilate. You're going to get very shimmery crescents around the pupils. And she's going to go, "Oh, I'm going to rake its guts over coals."
Okay!
Alright,
Yes,
then.
Ark?
I'll just come over and pat Ray on the head, kind of like
Alright, that's
pull
good.
her
Time to
away
go.
from him,
Grab her.
turn, and, like, reposition her towards, towards the party. Like, that's enough of that. You
Yeah.
can go back to the group now.
Go back to herding small animals. We'll deal with this later. Yes,
I know
Architect.
you guys might think I encourage this.
Ark's gonna walk up to him and be like, "You have our word. We will take care of this. Where did you get those puffy pants at?"
I think I have a spare pair that don't have quite as many sword slashes. To hell with it here. He hands you a pair. Just a pair of, like, dark forest green hakama.
I'm gonna hand him 20 gold pieces.
That wasn't worth 3 silver, but, thank you. I'm sorry, I feel like we owe you something at this point.
No, please. Continue. They just ignore him.
I'm gonna pull the pants on up over the pants I'm already wearing.
Mm-hmm.
Pants.
If you do not tie the lower legs, you just have a pair of like poofy samurai pants.
Oh yeah, I got poofy samurai pants.
Sweet.
I'm slowly like dressing as a samurai. Now I have the giant brimmed hat, the puffy pants.
All you need is the kimono top, and you will pretty much completely obscure yourself. That and a belt.
Yeah.
May, were you gonna say something?
Who? Me?
You. Yes.
Could you repeat again where it was that you were attacked when this happened? We're searching for that same demon, and I feel like searching the premises where this happened recently would help.
Well, we were pretty far northeast. We'd just entered a part of the wood that we had none of us had really been to yet. The trees are different shaped. I don't have a better way to describe it. They don't grow right. They jut out at odd angles and twist and weave together somehow. It's odd. We had just traveled in there. We hadn't been on the interior of that portion of the forest for more than an hour or so when our companions turned against us and we had to fight for our lives. We fled, made it back to camp, and bandaged ourselves as best we could before collapsing from exhaustion, and we spent the better part of the day trying to just bandage and recover.
Take that 20 gold, find your family, and go as far south as you can. Get away from here.
I think that's a good plan. We could spend a little time. I have a brother who lives on the coast.
That's the one favor I could ask of you, is to get out of here.
He's got a fishing boat, and I could do that for a little while.
Not too far south though, because then you'll go like all the way around. You'll be back in the north again, and we don't want that.
Shut up, Mark.
Not how geography works.
It kind of is.
Thank you.
Well, you know what I mean.
We're gonna take our leave now. And
Please do.
Finish gathering their stuff and take off.
You guys are weird.
There are some food supplies still here, and a couple of sturdy
Maybe not you,
bedrolls.
May.
You notice a few very dark forest green cloaks that are still around nearby that seem to be very well blended to the foliage. But other than that,
Useful.
yes, May?
Did the area they spoke of actually sound familiar to me at all?
Yes, it did.
Cool.
That portion of wood is referred to as... Let me get the...
Woods.
No, it's not the Woodwoods. Wood. Sorry. It is called the Bunraku Woods. It is the most dangerous part of the Spirit Forest. And it is the domain of Shujingumo. The Bunraku Woods stretch in a large, kind of fat crescent along much of the northwestern portion of this province. A huge swath of land. Your shrine is butted up against its almost dead center, which is about just over a week's travel away. To give you an idea of the perspective, is his section of woods would take 2 weeks to walk across, assuming you could keep an average march pace.
Relay that. And just kind of chuckle out loud. Those are supposed to be novice demon slayers, and they march themselves into the most dangerous part of the entire province. So they're actually very lucky to be alive at all. And, well, I guess we should keep going the way we were going, because my shrine is right there. I love it.
Wise decision.
Ray will just go, I think it was just playing with them.
If you wanted them dead, they would be dead. It was maybe even intended for them to stumble upon us. He has eyes in many places from what I hear, and I'm sure he would know by now that we're approaching.
Delightful. However,
They didn't seem
All
to have
the-
any magic affecting them, so I doubt
I mean,
they're
did
any
we
sort
check?
of
I don't
spy
think we
for him.
checked.
That is
My
true.
eyes are still glowing purple, by the
Mhm.
way.
Oh, okay.
Can
Purple.
I've seen.
can he take his eyes out and still see things with them? Because I could totally make something like that.
While this has been going on,
That
Lee,
would be cool.
you've kept a keen eye on everything that's been happening, and they've talked for the better part of, half an hour or so. And as you've kept an eye on the woods, looking more towards the north, towards the end of that conversation, you saw a slight shifting in the canopy of trees and some of the branches. And taking a moment to kind of look, make a perception check.
Spyglass.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. 22.
You see, very well blended in with the bark of the tree, a brown-fleshed individual, body covered in short, coarse hair, seemed to be kind of like pressed up against the tree, its head just barely peering to one side, looking over. You see a cluster of maybe 3 or 4 eyes on one side of its head, and one part of a mandible, but an arm like a man's, with fingers entirely too long, kind of wrapped around the trunk of the tree on one side. And then as it looks for a moment, its eyes are like black and glossy, without sclera, without pupil, just solid black. As it observes for about 5 or so minutes, and then disappears.
How
It's gonna
far
be a new
away
friend
was
for the
it?
arc.
Your guess would be probably about 100 feet or so from you, which would put it about 70 or so, or it'd be about 70 or so feet from them. But it was there for about 5 minutes and then gone.
I'm not sure. Like, I would have sat there and watched it for 5 minutes without notifying the rest of the party.
Okay. Is there anything you would like to do? This is like in the waning moments of their conversation as Mugen and everybody have gathered their stuff and are leaving.
No, actually, I'll just notify everyone later.
Okay. All right. And it's at this point that we can take a break. We'll be back in about 15 or so minutes, 15, 20 minutes.
Hi.
And stick with us. We have a lot more fun content to get to. Thanks for hanging out, guys. We'll be right back.
I mean, Jeff,
Jeff.
Hello, everybody. We're back.
we have a Jordan.
Yes, we have the Jordan. All right. Picking up... Oop, that's not the right page.
How do you not know this?
Sorry. I have plans to run a Lancer game, but that's not getting streamed because I'm super unfamiliar with Lancer, so we're not going to worry about that. Eventually, in the future, I will run a Lancer game on stream because Lancer is fucking great. But I need practice first.
I don't even know what a Lancer is.
Huh?
I don't even know what a
It's a
Lancer
mech.
is.
Lancer RPG. It is a mecha tabletop RPG where you customize and build giant robots and pilot them against your enemies.
I want to be Diva.
You can basically be Diva, but in a bigger, more dangerous mech.
Oh, that's lame. That's like the Omnix. Oh
Well,
my
no, you could
God.
also be Diva in one of the size 1/2 mechs, but Diva's basically just a Caliban. Funny to 3 people present, myself included.
I love it.
Anyways, back to high fantasy, feudal fairy tale. So we had left off with Lee spotting some sort of voyeur with many black beady eyes that had made its way out as the group of demon hunters such as they were, have exited their camp after receiving healing and thanking you guys for the gift of gold and potions. They collect themselves and their stuff and leave, and you guys are still just over a week away from May's home.
So I'm gonna jump straight horizontal off of the tree and then slow fall down with my arms spread out.
Okay.
And land in the middle of the camp.
All right, as you guys see this, Lee dashing out and then just beginning to, I think, point of clarification, I don't remember if the slow fall requires a wall like it used to.
It does not anymore, no.
Okay, it does not require a wall, so you, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, float your way down without any issue. Not so much that you're actually, like, floating, but you get a little bit of air, and when you land, you just do a quick, easy roll and are back on your feet immediately without any issue.
All right.
Anything to report?
Well, I was, but Architect seems like he wants to say something. But now he has a mouthful of food.
Oh, I was just gonna point at you while you're falling and be like, "Where's physics?"
As I was trying to explain, it's not so much that they fall exceptionally slow, just that the fall seems slightly slower than it should be, and the landing is so well put together. It's very much like watching somebody doing parkour, how they just seem to kind of fly and float, and then when he lands, he just kills all his momentum without any issue.
I retract my physics. He doesn't get a woe of physics anymore.
Well, I do like to picture when I leap out, there is a moment before I start descending that it slows a little bit.
Yep. There is that. There's that like hanging moment in the air.
Cool.
You gotta have the air hike, the anime air hike.
Yeah, totally. Well, I saw somebody watching us.
What?
I saw somebody watching us from far away in the tree.
Was it someone or something?
A little bit of both, it seemed like. I'll go ahead and I can create a minor illusion to show you exactly.
It's a bit rudimentary, but what you see is like the side of like kind of a solid brown surface that appears to be a tree trunk, and then something with about 4 or so black eyes on one side of its head, and long fingers on a brown body that just seems to be covered in coarse hair as it's kind of like hanging and gripping to one side. You just see like this much of it as it seems to be just barely blocked, and then you just see that static image as they create this image in their hand.
Look familiar?
Not to me.
I can't say it does. I'm not comforted.
Seems a bit spider-like to me.
Kind of what I was thinking.
Perhaps this is one of those eyes you were speaking of before, May.
Perhaps. I was hoping I was a little less correct about the situation, but I guess, yay, I'm right. Oh.
Well, we know our quarry can shapeshift to some degree to more humanoid shapes.
Before True Seeing runs out, I kind of want to do a quick lap around the camp too.
Yep, make a perception check.
If we come up on that. Passive, active. Let's see, 13.
13. No real evidence of anything. Unfortunately, there's no more of those strands.
Yukio, I don't suppose you know thieves can't.
I do know thieves can't. I mean, I have the background to let me know thieves can't, whether or not it's the same thieves can't that you know.
For the purposes of simplicity, it's ninja shorthand.
Okay, cool. I was gonna say, like, just judging by our backgrounds, I don't know that we would use the same stuff, but DM says we do, so.
Okay, and Lee probably would have known that beforehand, but moving forward, I will communicate with you in Thieves' Cant more in those situations.
Okay.
So, yes, Ray.
All right. Before we go to sleep, since I figured we'd be sleeping somewhere tonight,
Mm-hmm.
out in the rough, and in enemy territory, I have prepared Private Sanctum. I make an area within range magically secure. The area is a cube that can be as small as 5 feet or as large as 100 feet on each side. The spell lasts for the duration or until you use an action to dismiss it. Sound can't pass through the barrier. The barrier of the warded area appears dark, foggy, preventing vision, including dark vision to see through it. Sensors created by divination spells can't appear inside the protected area or pass through the barrier. Creatures in the area can't be targeted by divination spells. Nothing can teleport into or out of the warded area. Planar travel is blocked within the warded area.
So real safe.
Yeah,
Mission.
essentially.
What's the duration?
The duration is... Casting is 10 minutes, duration is 24 hours.
Okay.
So it's nighttime, right?
It's approaching nighttime, yeah.
Okay. So then are we gonna just camp here?
You could if you like.
Camp's already set up. And it's not like moving too far is going to change the knowledge of our enemy.
True.
I
would
say
like to
watch.
stop by a village at some point, by the way, out of character.
Hmm?
I would like to stop by a village at some point.
Okay.
Out of character.
Yeah, out of character.
Before
Plus, we need to offload those iron bars that we have still.
before you end up casting that Yukio,
Yes.
you hear the call of a hawk.
Ah, yes. I was actually just going to ask you later after the session if about that sort of thing.
Yep.
At hearing the call, I will head up to the treetops.
All right. As you quickly
wait for
scurry
it.
your way up to the treetops, kind of standing and poking your head, you see one skimming low over the treetops, and it alights and lands on your wrist. Remind me exactly what you asked. So I don't remember.
I didn't ask anything. I just let them know that I finished my job in Nakon, was going into Matsu on personal business, and that I might have to return with guests in the near future.
Gotcha. As the hawk lands, so there is a specific voice that you recognize. It is the voice of Keito Yoteshi.
Ah, okay.
Her very no-nonsense kind of tone, with very little intonation, simply speaks to you from as this hawk opens its beak. Her voice emanates. The message is not terribly lengthy. She says, "Some things have changed here at home. When you are able, return. We have much to discuss."
Oh, good.
And that's it. The hawk.
I don't like the sound of that.
Yeah.
Cool. I'll head back down then.
All right. Hawk
So-
flies off.
In casting the spell, Ray is going to be just like folding together a cube of lead with a bunch of like clouded glass, and she's basically building a diorama of the area out of these material components, and then
Clap.
boom.
This faint
Summoning
shimmer
Jutsu.
goes. You see, kind of shooting up on all four sides, and then quickly covering atop before kind of fading from your interior view. Yes, Ark?
She'll be cackling madly and going, "Let's see him get through this."
Ark's going to point at the newly erupted house and go, physics! And then I'm going to go grab one of the robes that you said was hanging on the outskirts.
Not a house. It's just a zone around the camp.
It's just a magical cube of protection.
And were you grabbing a cloak?
Yeah, I thought you said there were some of the
Yep,
ones
there are
that
some
kinda
very
wrap
dark
your hands.
forest green kind of mottled cloaks that are easily kind of, they've got like very well put together like braided silk cords that kind of hold it in a small clasp on one side. They're actually pretty well put together. There's no insignia, but the small like weathered iron fitting or like blackened iron fitting that holds it, the clasp, is kind of carved in a faint like floral pattern. It's very pretty.
Right.
But yeah, there are about 3 of them that you can find. I imagine you're wearing all 3.
I currently have all 3, yes.
You have all 3, but you're wearing... Okay. And yeah, you guys are able to bed down for the evening. For the purpose of brevity, nothing gets in. Nothing can. Nothing barring the luck of God.
Anything can walk through. It's just really hard to get through it in any way that somebody who's on watch can't see.
Yeah. No, so nothing enters. A couple of animals pass through here and there, but nothing no disturbances happen throughout the night. And you guys are able to get yourselves ready and put together and head out the next day.
Oh.
All right. For your next week of travel, somebody roll a d20 for me.
Every single
it's like-
night, by the way, Ray will be doing the exact same thing.
Okay.
If for
19.
no other reason
19.
than to piss off this creature.
I mean, we don't want to piss it off. We want to get
You don't want to piss it off. Ray absolutely wants to piss
Fair.
it off.
Fair. Okay. You got me there.
All right.
Sure as fuck.
19. Your week's travel is relatively easy. I will say, since you did want to stop by a village, you do find, actually, in looking at the map that I have... I have a map. I have a map.
I have a map.
It's only about a day or so. You would say the next day, you're able to come across a fairly large town that seems to be set where a river deposits from the mountains down into a lake. It seems to be a timber town. High wooden walls. Think like Irontown from Princess Mononoke. Like high wooden walls set up. You hear the sounds of industry going on the interior, but you are stopped at the gates.
Cool.
And in fact, very much like Irontown, several individuals with long single-shot rifles are leaning over the top of the town wall.
Is there somebody on the ground to converse
Up
with?
at the top of the wall, there is one person that seems to have sort of a red-colored hat that indicates some sort of status or rank. Seems to be an elven man, kind of a thick beard, which is surprising considering how long it takes for elves to grow facial hair. Seems like a very long cultivation. His hair is, he's got the classic like top knot, shaved top with the top knot, and the kind of red hat sitting on the back of his head. Actually, no, it would be on the front. So you see like like a small red hat sitting on the front with the top knot behind it, and a kind of a dark like blue purple sort of aori or coat over the top of his kind of dark black gray cote. He has a rifle as well, although his is at his side, and he hails to you. After first warning you to stop, do not approach the city.
Hello. What seems to be the problem?
No problem. Move along.
We
We'd
have
like to enter
trade.
the city.
Trade and news.
Speak your piece then.
Yukio?
What are you looking at me for? You're the one who said we had news.
Why would you want us to speak the piece? We want to give you the whole thing.
We're just looking to trade as we're passing through.
What do you have to trade?
Really. Chest of iron bars. We found abandoned along the side of the road, and a couple of sizable grates made of platinum.
His eyes kind of sparkle at the mention of iron bars and platinum. All right. What do you need? Supplies? Gold? Weapons?
A few specific supplies, yes.
Make a list. We'll send someone out.
So how's he fucking with you?
What?
And
I'm
after
assuming you're paranoid because of the spider.
the captain of this guard just kind of looks at you with a very like what's the word, like dismissive expression. Just doing my job. And after a few minutes, he kind of walks away from the edge of the wall. After a few minutes, the gate, this heavy wooden gate, is lifted up, and 8 men carrying guns file out and sit in front. And then 2 other individuals dressed in more like scholarly or scribe-like attire kind of make their way out, and they have some sheafs of paper and some ink and brushes and make their way towards you. Both humans, seemingly, of middle age and no real important description. They ask you what it is you need and take note of what you have to trade.
Okay, well, I'm specifically looking for the material components for True Seeing, which is listed as an ointment for the eyes that costs 25 GP, made of mushroom powder, saffron, and fat. Okay. So
that's easy enough to acquire. They have the materials to produce that.
A decent number of doses if possible, but...
Okay. How much gold's worth?
Many you're go with. Well, let's see. Let me do some math real quick.
Quick maths.
My brain is... I'd be willing to drop 300 gold on it if they have 12 worth.
Well, the box of iron that you have is appraised at about 500 gold worth of iron.
Okay, that's
or rather steel. They are steel bars.
Oh, steel bars. Okay. Oh yeah, and I have those 2 platinum grates that you said were 500 GP each as well.
So you have 1,000 gold worth of platinum and 500 gold worth of steel.
Cool.
You have about 1,500 gold worth of bargaining stuff before you have to touch your own coffers.
Awesome. Well, that's all I particularly need at the moment. If anybody else wants.
Anybody need any material components for spells? Are they wanting anything in particular?
Well, my spells. Correct me if you are doing it a different way, but material components in 5e don't get consumed unless the spell specifically says it does.
Correct, but there are spells that require a material component that often has a gold cost. So, like, sometimes it's like a pearl worth at least 50 gold, which you would have to acquire if you did not already have it on your person. I assume for the purposes of this, any spells that you already had, you at least had enough materials to cast it once or twice, if it's something that's consumed. But in terms of actual consumables, you would have to take the time to purchase that, which I don't cause too much guff over. I just need to know what you have and how much of it.
No, you're good.
Are there any turtles?
In a quick and gruff questioning and a few weird glances, you ascertain that there are in fact no turtles nearby, at least none that are kept for pets or food. Yes, May?
Do you happen to have any diamonds?
A few of them look and say, we have a few precious gems, yes. What do you need?
Well, if you have diamonds specifically, I am looking for those. They're a very important spell component for me in my, cleric magic. The more the better.
We could sell you a diamond for 500 gold.
I am okay using my own gold for that if necessary, but I would definitely like that.
Ray will chip in at least half, if nobody else.
Well, you have
puts in.
about 1,200 gold in liquidity for party stuff at the moment. So it's up to you guys how you want to spend it. Between Yukio spending 300 on the eye drop bits.
I want a diamond.
Okay. Your own diamond, or are you just vouching for the diamond currently being...
I want to buy a diamond.
They could produce you a second diamond for another 500 gold.
Why are they gouging us? What kind of diamonds are these?
The ones that bring dead people back to life.
It's almost a pretty good answer.
That's almost double the dead person diamond cost.
Depends on the type of spell you're using.
Scalpers over here. Fine. I want to try to haggle.
Make a persuasion
Ray
check.
will drop. Ray will drop at least 20 GP for 2 more instances of Find Familiar.
Okay.
And that's her personal,
Alright, you were able
she
to
doesn't
acquire
feel
that.
comfortable.
May, you are able to get a 500 golds worth diamond. And Architect,
Cool.
are you also wanting a 500 golds worth diamond? Haggling?
I want to haggle for a 500 gold for a diamond.
What did you get for your persuasion check?
Okay, let me roll a persuasion. Do it on here. 12. I'm gonna flash that. 17.
17. The price is 500. And they are sticking firm to that.
The price is 300.
The price is 500, or you can move on and be on your way.
Fine, I'll give you the 400.
500 gold.
Ray will kind of like just grab up at Architect and go, "You'll give it to May if she needs it, right?"
No.
Well, fuck you then, and then storm off.
Should we? Do you guys sell leashes here too?
You know, that might actually not be a bad idea now that I think about it.
It's really not a bad idea for that fucker.
I was just gonna say in character for Ray or Ark, but
500 and you throw in a leash.
Okay.
Score.
Oh, shit.
Deal.
Sure. They fashion you a leather harness of sorts. As a leather leash with a simple medieval tech carabiner on the end.
I wish I could draw, because all I want to do is draw a picture of Zavis with Ray strapped to his chest and Architect strapped to his back, and him just as sunglasses on and pushing a stroller or something. One on his back and one in a stroller, and just
You act like I haven't saved your ass repeatedly.
I mean,
you're still a child.
tit for tat. Zavis has done the same for you.
That's true. That means we're equals, though.
It means you're even. It doesn't mean you're equals.
I have significantly better emotional health.
Okay. You guys are able to do your bartering, but these guys seem cagey at best. They are
Dismissing all of your
extremely
comments,
hesitant. They are
just,
happy to trade you for the
I'll
steel.
beat it out of someone later. Is not emotional health, Zavis.
They are happy to trade you for the steel, and they are able to convert your raw materials into gems worth of the remaining valuables, basically. So you end up with about 700 golds worth in miscellaneous polished gemstones.
oh cool. So we just have a spare 700 gold then.
Yep.
There are 7 of us, right?
Believe.
Yeah.
Ark, were
Do you
you
wanna just take
actually,
100
point of
gold out of
order,
that?
Ark, were you spending your own money or no?
Yeah, I was spending my own.
Okay, yeah, then you have a spare 700 golds worth of various gemstones.
Y'all want to just take 100 gold each?
Sure, you can divvy it up to
Yeah.
100 gold a person.
good way to do that.
All right.
I have
I wanna-
one question.
Yes, Lee?
Go ahead.
I know you certainly don't micromanage this, how are we dealing with rations at the moment? Is it just basically what we have with like Hachi on the cart and our own foraging? Like, are we using rations at all per day?
You are going
From
through
our own
rations.
inventory?
Hachi made sure to resupply. Or basically, Hachi made sure that you guys had supplies, and he resupplied when you stopped at the lake. He made sure you resupplied when you stopped at Salamander Springs. And he is currently in the process of bartering for supplies after raiding that campground for what it had left. You guys are still doing all right on rations. You'd probably be running a little bit low right now, but rations are
Take
not
up some money
expensive.
for
So
that.
if you want to barter food
Ray
here,
does not give a fuck. She knows a spell that can summon a feast every fucking night.
Yeah, but what about second breakfast?
So we haven't dug into our personal
no,
inventory.
you have not
rations
dug
yet?
into any of your personal rations. Hachi has been able to provide for the lot of you.
Yeah, because
What a
like
good
for
provider.
emergency situations, I like to keep some of those around.
Yeah, no, you've been able to keep your own emergency rations relatively untouched.
It's
Okay.
bananas.
I want to... That's funny. I want to kind of ask one of the guards or whoever seems to be the most in charge on the ground, since you said that one
Okay,
guy
it'd be one of the
walked away from
two
the gate.
accountants.
So I'll just kind of ask them, might I ask why such a high level of security here?
The spider. Come on now. Don't be insensitive.
This is a location of imperial interest, if you must know.
Yes, that does explain it.
Is there something imperial interesting?
The Empire is having us excavate. And that's as much as I'm at liberty to speak about.
Oh, that's so cool. Did you uncover anything like really cool, like bones or something?
That's all that I'm able to speak about.
Ray is aghast because she was just assuming that since they're so deep in the forest, they were paranoid because spider hallucination and, bullshit shenanigans.
And in looking around
And
and,
then-
you actually like paying attention, you do notice these soldiers do have small imperial insignias sewn into their attire. Not any high ranks here, nor probably anybody that you would guess would know you, but these are imperial agents.
Just kind of grab at Lee and sort of pull him behind her, very ineffectively hiding him.
I imagine Lee is hard to see at the moment.
Generally speaking.
If Lee catches wind of anything Imperial, Lee gets out of sight.
I assume because of
Or
your
at
passive
least tries to
perception that
act
you noticed
casual.
the imperial insignias and made yourself very
Scarce.
You did a very good wallflower act.
Yeah.
We're good then. Yep.
Is there anything else you guys need at this camp?
Not that I can think of.
Ray is insanely curious and will try to No, she's here for a reason. Kill spider first, raid camp later.
Alright. As you guys continue on, you have the rest of your week's journey, which goes surprisingly well. You get deeper and deeper, and I will just make sure that I change these for you guys, deeper and deeper into the woods. You are traveling along a path. On your 7th day of travel, you find yourself a small path that seems to have been laid with little bits of cobble. And May, you are exceptionally familiar with this path. You notice the little red paper lanterns that hang from the trees that mark the way to your shrine. These paper
it's
lanterns were ones
adorable.
that you hung up yourself. and you used them to indicate the path back home and the routes that you considered safe, or at least relatively safe. You know that you're about an hour's worth of travel away from your home.
We're getting closer. I would reckon a little over 3/4 of an hour, 45 minutes. We just need to follow this path, follow the lanterns, and we should be there.
Is
Wonderful.
May seeming distressed at this point?
May, are you seeming distressed at this point?
Not exactly like bursting with joy, but apprehensive, yeah.
She seems hesitant, but not stopping or faltering, just cautious. You notice her head is turning a little bit more, her ears kind of twitching, and she seems to be on greater alert than her normal kind of dreamy eye.
Fucking normies.
Sorry, I misspoke.
I see weird people.
But as you do notice, Ark, I'll get to you in a second. As you do notice, as she steps upon this path, you see several, just out of the corners of your eyes, just faded little shapes that seem to look similar to the Kodama in their simplicity. Just simple faces that kind of like rise up out of the rocks and kind of shift out of the trees and observe and watch you guys. These are not malevolent. You do not get the sense that you're being like watched in a bad way. And you actually all would know this fairly easily. These are... Sorry, what's the term?
Probably not turtles.
They're a type of fae. They're called the Morio. They're simple and quiet spirits of trees, rocks, and rivers. Just natural spirits that are not complex in any way.
Yamamoto.
They are slightly less
God
complex than the Kodama. But they are... They all seem to be reacting to May's presence, and as she's walking, you're beginning to be able to see a few more of the Kodama as they're starting to kind of gather around her feet. Several of them all along the trees. And as you'll like be walking, and then you look and you see one like just riding on Zavis's shoulder. Zavis totally unaware that it's there. Yes, Ark.
It's back.
Ark's able to see them, right?
Yeah, you guys are all able to see them. It's if you look at them and focus on them, they'll fade. But in your periphery, for the most part, they're just kind of there, and you're aware of them more than you see them. You're aware of them, but you can see them if you like glance over and look for a moment.
I now have a spirit on my shoulder.
Ark wants to do two things.
Okay.
First, he's going to attempt to place a hand down near the ground by May's feet.
Mm-hmm.
See if he can get one to step onto his hand.
Okay. Make a nature check.
Do I nature?
Do you nature?
I nature pretty well, apparently.
I was about to say, if you're intelligent, or no, it's wisdom. Right?
Yeah, it's a wisdom.
Yeah, no, I'm fucked.
It's only a +5, though.
It's a pretty good
whack stuff.
whack.
18.
18, yeah. As you lay a hand down, one of the smaller Kodama kind of looks over at you, its head making that like rattling noise, and then it hops, and it almost seems to like float kind of slowly, like it's just kind of like it's weightless for a second, moon jumping, and it hops onto your hand.
Right.
And then just kind of looks up at you with that large blank expression.
I'm gonna put him on my hat.
And then he plops down, both feet kind of sticking out, and just sits and observes.
And now I'm gonna turn to May and be like, I know we're in the woods, but these lanterns are a forest fire hazard. They're paper.
The lanterns are magical.
Are they fire, though?
They're a heat.
You should take a closer look at them. We've been using these in these parts for hundreds of years, and we have yet to cause a forest fire to my knowledge. Though there was that one time in that one village.
And as
You
you,
should
as
take
you,
a closer look, though. The magic at use here it's very smart.
I want to go up to one
Okay.
and investigate it.
as you look, you peer inside the paper lantern, kind of having to get up a little bit and look, like you have to like climb and shimmy up the side of the tree. You look. Seems like a small paper construction with a little wooden base and a string kind of tied around the sides of it that run up and are hung. And what you see in the center is a small pine cone that is upside down. And it sits on this little very thin wooden platform. And the interior of the pine cone seems to glow with a warm yellow light. The paper, being colored red, gives these red lights. But the pine cone itself is what's glowing. And it kind of just slowly pulses and flickers as if like a natural flame. But there is no heat from it.
May, has anyone ever ate one of these?
Say yes, and it wasn't good.
I don't love lying. Ark, I think you might be the first here in a couple moments.
I'm sorry.
I want to eat part of it.
Are you going to really try and horf down a pine cone?
I want to see if it makes me glow inside.
How will you know it's inside of you?
Because you'll see it outside of me.
Not necessarily.
I don't think so. I think there's a lot
Your
of
body's pretty dense. Yes, Zavis?
Yeah. Between that
May-
In a fit
May.
of
Growing up in my father's...
Hold on, Zavis.
wanting to one up Ark and like just an urge of just I'm gonna do it. He just grabs a pine cone and just shoves it in his mouth because he has big teeth.
As you reach in and grab a pine cone and... God, is it bitter and sharp, and your mouth is just immediately cut up. You're just like, oh, God. But you're stoic, so you're just crunching, and you swallow, and it hurts the whole time. It's terrible. It's exceptionally dry. And you have destroyed the enchanted object.
May,
Your character's gonna be
though,
like this, basically.
would like to reach out towards Zavis very subtly, like swooping her hand and just barely grazing right where his chest is and cast light as if like trying to...
Does light have a verbal component?
Yeah, it does.
Okay, you would have to say something.
Okay.
You have to say
Blessed
like the
Zavis.
actual word or prayer that is corresponding. It's not just you say anything and it works as the verbal component. There is a specific verbal component.
Oh, I don't
Yeah.
I don't know what that would be. I'm
It's
sorry.
whatever verbal component you would use to cast the spell anyways, which I usually let you decide. But
Oh.
it has to be the same verbal component every time.
Oof.
So you can't just
I'm
be
just
like,
gonna say the verbal
"Oh, you're just
component is...
glowing." I might let that pass on a bard
the
for
verbal
puns. But...
component is a light.
Okay.
And I'll just graze and go, oh, look! It caused you to alight from within.
All right, make a sleight of hand check.
13.
Okay, that is very obvious that you cast a spell. Yes, Ark?
This is arguably the most excited Ark has been in quite some time. And just with excitement, he's gonna go, ah, yes, Zavis, science!
I'll start engaging Yukio in a thieves' cant conversation about how we're surrounded by idiots.
I will.
I'm gonna pull out my
definitely
jug of
agree.
vodka and wash down the pine cone with vodka.
God.
After this has gone on for just a little bit, Yuko's gonna be like, if we're quite done eating pine cones, can we please proceed?
Zavis will be shitting Lincoln logs in about 8 hours.
glowing.
I
Lincoln
imagine,
logs.
it's
Ray
Can build a second shrine.
hackles raised, just kind of like
Yes, you've successfully destroyed one of the simple little lanterns. Well done. You've consumed a cantrip. Yes, Art.
Is Thieves' Cant considered a language?
It is a combination of quick snippets of phrase and hand signals and gestures that could be otherwise overlooked as just a weird local dialect.
What,
I think it's
okay.
along the lines of Druidic, and that you can't learn it unless it's taught to you by someone who knows it.
Yep.
New question. Observant versus Thieves' Cant.
You would have to be familiar. You yourself
You'll
are a
see us
foreigner
doing
and
stuff.
not familiar with the local Thieves' Cant, so even if you are smart enough to observe, it would take you months to figure it out.
Oh, well, it's speaking a language you understand. Never mind.
Yep.
I thought you just became super big brain.
Nope, that's Keen
Carry on.
Mind.
Hey,
Keen
I
Mind
have
and
Keen
Observant
Mind.
makes you the ultimate big brain. Well, Keen Mind, I'm not saying specifically does that for you. I'm just saying your brain is big if you have Keen Mind at the feet.
I have Keen Mind and Observant.
You have both?
Yes.
Okay, you are very big brain. That does not help you. You will remember every single hand gesture that they've done and every word that they've said for a month.
Don't
Whether
worry,
you can
guys.
deduce what that means.
I'm pretty much Kakashi at this point. Just like, I can copy that.
You could copy it. You have no idea what it means, but you could absolutely copy it.
Well, the thing is, would your character even be suspicious of it? Because the wording is that you can hide messages in seemingly normal conversation.
Yeah.
Oh, then they're just chit-chatting away.
It's basically
Yeah.
just Cockney slang. Is the best way I can put it. It is the equivalent to Cockney slang, where two people can have a conversation, and all of those are words you recognize, but clearly the meaning is lost on you because you have no idea what's actually being said.
Subtitles over here.
It's
fuck.
that scene from the third Austin Powers film where they're talking English. Something, something tea kettle, and then she shat on a turtle. That moment. Basically what they're doing.
Alright.
Alright.
I'm no longer excited.
After
Science failed.
just under an hour's worth of travel, you guys find your way to a small and, at least to you, May, familiar clearing. What you see is the remains of an old, I think they're called Torii gates. An old Torii gate, which is a large, essentially like a marker for a pathway. Those large kind of double-topped gates that has long since fallen over due to rotting foundation and has been overtaken by moss. You see a little simple hut kind of off to the left-hand side of this clearing. And you see a very large tree with the sacred rope and paper talismans that hang from it around its sizable mass. And in and amongst its roots and along the ground in front of it, arraying out in a generally fanning pattern, you count, just on an offhand, nearly 50 individual grave markers. All of them seeming to have the same, somewhat rudimentary but functional imagery carved into them. They're all of a very similar nature, very humble. And there are a lot of them, all buried in and around the roots of this tree.
Well, welcome to my home, my shrine. Yeah, it doesn't look like much, and it's not much, but it's mine and the Kodama's.
Ark wants to ask May a question.
Okay.
Mark?
Ah, this is nice. It's all yours. So what about the dead people? Are those also yours, or are those up for grabs?
You can't have those.
Okay. Okay. Check
Did
it.
you really just ask her if you could take remains?
No, I asked if the remains could be taken. There's a distinct difference.
Sometimes I do dumb stuff, but at least I don't ask people that. It's very clearly a shrine.
No, you make those. Dead people. Lavis.
Yeah. Okay, but I wouldn't desecrate their graves. I have standards.
You desecrated
Zavis.
them.
Zavis,
What?
if you hated them, you'd piss on their grave.
Please,
That-
please no
Zavis, don't
pissing
be
on
a
these
fag.
graves.
I won't piss on anybody's grave.
No,
Well-
no. If you hated them,
Implying there's something left to bury after I deal with the people that I hate.
no, you didn't necessarily have to. Well, never mind. In any case, May, thank you very much for bringing us here. And I'm sorry. You seem scared. Uncomfortable? Uncomfortable is a better word.
Because of all
I
the dead
mean-
people.
Shut
these
up,
graves,
Mark!
the spot, it used to be a sizable village, you know? That was until Shinji Gumo appeared. That's the power of him. This is what he turns entire settlements into. Just rows of graves and tall, sullen trees providing shade only to the dead.
Oh, Ark, be more respectful.
Okay. What about the pathetic excuse of a hut? Was that the spider too?
I built that as a child.
Ark,
There,
shut up.
I was, but I don't know, 7 or 8 when my entire village was taken from me. I built that hut and lived here among the graves, and the Kodama helped me. I know it's kind of pitiful, but I didn't really want to leave. I mean, everyone that I ever knew was here, so...
And you can see
Travis, you look like you have something on your mind.
you can
He's gonna
see
walk up to me.
dozens of Kodama are beginning to kind of appear in and around the house. Several of them seeming to just kind of lean out of the wood, and for a moment you all see May framed by 1,000 of these Kodama in and around the trees and behind them, and you get a sense
Kodama.
these spirits of the forest love her.
Can I use
She's
sure
the
to
co-mama.
Thematically appropriate seppuku.
Yes.
Harakiri.
I want to use True Seeing again, just in case, I don't know, there's some weird threads or something around here.
Okay,
'cause
sorry. I will let
I feel like
Zavis
this may have
resolve
been
his
gone.
thing, and then we will do that.
Okay, cool.
Yes, Zavis.
Did you say that I can do my thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't catch what you said. Okay, that's what I thought you said, but I didn't want to be rude. Okay, so he's gonna just go over to May very seriously, put his hands on her shoulders, look her dead square in the eye, and go, "You did your best. You were a child. You survived." And then he's listening. And then he'll walk away.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yukio.
Yes.
Having sort of a momentary sense of awareness, cocking your head, you say your quick incantation, and your eyes flash with that violet color.
Yeah.
And as you are, the Byakugan, as you are looking around, make a perception check.
Get over to my freaking skills. Okay. I feel like I always go the longer way in swiping through, like, the skills as to which would get me to what I want. 14.
14. That's good enough. As you are looking around, you kind of look to the top of this hut that May is standing in front of. And you see two very, very thin threads, and as you look and kind of squint, you notice two mottled brown bodies pressed against the roof, blending in nearly perfectly. And it's really only because of your spell that you're able to see what they are. These entities have humanoid upper halves and arachnid lower halves, for a simple way of putting it.
They look kind of like what
Driders,
Lee just
bitch.
made for us the other night.
Yes, very much so. Their faces, 8 black, glassy eyes amidst a roughly humanoid face with kind of medium-sized mandibles with fangs. Their hands and fingers long, their fingers having too many joints. And their bodies kind of lithe, at least their upper bodies look very lithe and attached to fairly large abdomens that are relatively like flat. They're wide, but they're flat. And then hairy legs that are flattened against the roof as they are laying there and observing you guys.
And they're on top of the roof, yes.
Yep, and you can see two very thin threads leading back into the trees.
Okay. I want to communicate with Lee and Thieves' Cant that they're there.
Okay. Lee, make a perception check.
I hate them.
A dirty 20.
In looking and knowing what you're supposed to be looking for, you just kind of casually scan over, and the first thing that draws your attention is the little points of black that indicate the thing's faces. You can see the eyes, and as you focus, depending on your mask to kind of block your direct gaze from anybody else's view, you can just barely see the outline of these brown, kind of flattened bodies.
I'm gonna say I have to go take a piss. And then I will walk away and try and sneak and like get up on the roof behind them.
Make a stealth check.
Well, certainly could have had more tact given the conversation we just had, but okay, sure.
When he says that, Ark wants to say, "Not on the graves."
All right.
I got an extremely low roll for 15.
15.
So I want to, if possible, get ready to try and sever their lines with, like, Eldritch Blast.
Okay. Certainly doable.
The only spell you need.
Yes, Ray?
Yep.
True.
Ray is not paying attention at all to what's going on.
Mhm.
She's mostly fucked up over the statement of this happened when I was 8.
Mm-hmm.
And she doesn't know what to do with that, so she's just going to get as close to May as she possibly can and say nothing.
Okay.
And just sort of, like, comfort presence.
I'll just put out my one giant hand and just kind of scoop.
You know, scoop her up against your side as you kind of just like awkwardly leaning because you just don't. It's not quite a hug, but you don't really know what else to do, so you're just like bump, doing what the cat does, the thump.
Yep. And you're getting a very resounding purr.
All right.
Oh.
Lee, as you begin to make your way around the back side of the building, you kind of quickly slip against it and then make an athletics check to climb up the back side of it. Oh wait, you have a climb speed. Never mind.
I have a climb speed.
I always forget that. As you make your way back up along, as you do and just crest the rise, you see that one of the heads has turned and is looking right back at you.
Fire! I yell.
You just rise and you're like, fire!
Shit, you were right about the lanterns!
All right.
On that note, I'll say we're not alone. Enemies on the roof, and I guess fire off the Eldritch Blast
All right.
if you'll permit before we roll.
So you have 3 Eldritch Blasts. Where are you sending them?
Well, I want to send one at each of the lines.
Okay.
And then I guess, are you making me decide beforehand where the third one goes?
Yeah, because they all fire at once. It's not like 1, 2, 3. They all
Okay.
go.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me see. Let me just kind of digest how lucky I feel right now. We'll do 1 at the first and 2 at the second.
Okay. Go ahead and roll first d20. Attack roll.
Okay. Eldritch Blast. First
Blast.
attack
Has to be said
is
every
a
time.
17.
How much?
Yes. 17.
All right. Your first shot just barely misses. Roll the other 2.
Bummer. Second attack is a 16. Bummer. Third attack is a 20.
20 just barely hits. Your first 2, as you fire, like all 3 of them go out. 2 of them are just barely miss. The third one hits and clips the one silk cord for the one on the right-hand side, the one that you, Lee, were looking at. Or, locking eyes with. In a moment's rush, the other one seems to move back as if pulled by a cord rapidly, just repelling backwards. And all of you who are paying attention, seeing Yukio say this and do his quick sigils, and hand goes forward, and those shadowy shuriken shooting forth. Shadowy shuriken shooting forth. It misses the first one entirely as it is just yanked back. You hear a rasping cackle as it's pulled through the woods. The second one, quickly trying to react, is it skitters around and gets in a low, well, it's already in a low position, but it gets in a defensive position, but it doesn't make any aggressive move yet.
Is that first one just gone?
Gone.
Beyond any form of
Gone.
chasing? Okay.
It just started, it rocketed backwards as if when you lay out a cat toy and then pull it back, just gone.
No, this is why I aimed for their lines. All right. Well, I'll shout out.
You're muted, Heather.
I'll shout out, I guess, in common, since would I know if these spider things speak a different language, or?
Probably would. I mean, they probably, yeah.
I don't know. They probably speak common too. Whatever.
Yeah.
I'll shout out in common. You have no escape, and we basically have you surrounded. You may as well give up now.
It doesn't exhibit any human emotional response that you can see, or any identifiable emotional response. Lee, you can just hear its pincers and fangs kind of clicking together in an almost contemplative manner. And it speaks in a quiet, raspy voice, really just loud enough for you to hear, Lee. It says, "And whom do I have the pleasure of meeting?"
I guess I'll climb up the rest of the way onto the roof.
Mm-hmm. It scurries back kind of quickly and jerkily, keeping a little bit of distance between you, but not outright running.
Sure.
And at this point, it kind of lifts its body up, and all of you can see it more clearly. This mottled brown body, entirely rail thin. It's surprisingly tall as it lifts with its legs, kind of rising to an imposing height of about 8 feet or so.
Prepared action at the sign of an attack or aggression. Mind spike on it.
Okay.
Or no, more better. Prepared action. If it tries to escape, mind spike.
Okay.
Guys, it's really quiet.
Yes, sir.
I'll go ahead and just light up to the roof if possible.
Okay. Easy enough to do. Ark?
Non-aggressively for now.
Yeah, I wanna yell to it and be like, "Hi, I'm friendly. I'll be your friend." And I'm gonna drink one of my flight potions and just kind of walk up there.
Okay. You drink a flight potion and walk up. Yes, May?
He's friendly, but I'm fucking not. Where are you? You're not doing this again.
Watch your language, mate.
You. What's your
It kind of gives this raspy laugh. This. So, outside of the whelp, who do we have here visiting our forest?
Would I know if this is like a messenger or if it's acting as like a conduit for
Make an Arcana
what's his
check?
name? Shinji Gumo or Shujin Gumo? One of those?
Shujin Gumo.
Gumo.
Arcana. That's a nat 20 for a 24.
You suspect that whatever... Your first moment of understanding is realizing that this is probably not Shujin Gumo, obviously.
Yes.
And from what tales you've heard about him having eyes all over the forest, you guess that this is like the most likely way that he receives information.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know if their line of communication is just that good or if it's an actual magical thing, but
Okay.
could be.
Is it just a drone,
It
or
very well
does
could
it
be.
have a mind?
It is described it has been previously described as one of his many children. So you presume a mind.
Don't like that.
Probably a mind. Probably not much of one, though. If I had to guess.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then, I suppose it's time we talk to it.
I'm sorry, I will, for the purposes of this, since its voice is rather quiet, I will hold the mic closer to my face, so it's a little easier to hear.
Yeah, it's just Yukio and Lee that are hearing what it's saying right
Yes,
now, right?
it speaks very quietly.
The architect flew up as well.
Yeah, the architect is up as well.
So did I catch any of the things it said so far? I know not the first one.
It said, aside from the whelp, who do we have here in our domain? In our forest, I should say.
Am I the whelp? Who's the
I
whelp?
would guess May is the whelp.
May's the whelp. Got it. I'm the architect. This is Yukio. And that's Lee.
When you say my name, I'm just gonna slowly turn my head to you like, did you just tell my name to a spider demon? I can't believe you. I want to say all of that with my face, but no words.
You do not need an insight check, architect, to understand that Yukio is glaring daggers at you.
Ark's gonna be like, wait, sorry, that down there is Yukio, and point at Ray.
Ray is going to see Architect pointing at her and that's it.
See? Just like Yukio.
I'll tell the spider, we're allies of that whelp, and very powerful ones at that, so show some respect.
I've done nothing disrespectful, but if you do not like the term, we shall call her the Maiden. Does that suffice?
That's better.
We seek information and we're told that you are the one to get it from.
Ah, yes, father knows a great many things.
Your
Ew.
father then. That answers one question.
Do you require a guide?
A guide to where? This seems like a loaded question, Mr. Spider Person.
To his father, I would assume.
It is father who knows many things, and you must ask him directly.
Yeah, I can talk to him. That's cool.
I am happy to guide you, if you will follow me.
A moment, please. And Yukio
Out
will
of
hop down to
character.
the roof.
Out of character. Demand safe passage. Demand safe passage.
You guys are able to
If they promise
convene.
us safe passage, I don't know how much that
The
would
spider
even
demon remains on the roof, seeming content to stand and watch you in a very rigid and unsettling manner, but giving you your space.
So yeah, I will come down to the group and kind of relay to everyone. Well, It's willing to take us to Shujin Gumo. At least, it appears as such.
Do you want me to kill it, May?
I'm not sure.
Just let me know then, and she'll nuzzle up closer.
I guess we might as well. I know that well, I don't know what these guys are, but I do know that Shujin Gumo is capable of great violence. I don't know about these ones. I don't know that they have the power to trap us or kill us if they want to. And I mean, they obviously know where we are, so there's not really any benefit in not following. I don't know.
I agree. At this point, I think it best to just go.
I can make us a safe place here if we want to discuss further.
I think it kind of boils down to, do you stomp on the ant that you see, or do you follow it back to its nest?
Well, killing this one will do us no good. May even make him less willing to deal with us.
Do we want to kill all of... I leave that up to May. If May wants me to kill them, I'll kill them.
Well, first we need to talk to the main one.
Yes.
Yeah, I
want to
guess we
destroy
do.
Orochi. Don't forget our goal here.
Yeah.
Our goal is not to slay the spider, but to obtain information from him.
She's going to glower and go, well, we could get information out of torture, right?
I don't like
A centuries-old
torture.
demon? Something tells
I
me
think that.
it's not likely.
Yeah, let's just torture things, because the last time you killed something, that went well.
You were the one trying to torture the last thing we caught.
I was gonna mayonnaise board him. There's nothing illegal about that.
So we follow it then?
I
we
think that might be the best.
Can we get its word? I know it's not worth much, but in court at least, word... It provided some modicum of a shield.
Spider court.
Ooh, a
Spider court.
I doubt the rules of court will have much bearing in the land of demons, but if it will make you feel more safe, I can ask.
I can ask if it makes you feel awkward.
Can you get to the roof?
Yes.
Just ask and I'll subtitle what it responds with major or minor image.
Oh, nice, yeah. Well, I suppose I'll go back up to the roof then.
Let's go, bud.
We accept your proposal, although one of my allies has requested your word that will be given safe passage.
You will not be harmed during your travel. Do not worry. No
Appreciate
questions. Politeness
That'd be bad for your
is
friends.
required. I must warn you, though. You must be ready and willing to trade. Nothing comes for free.
We should have held on to our steel.
Yes, Ark?
What can a spider do with steel?
Speaking of trade, can I have some of this silk that you're making? You're just like throwing it around all willy-nilly, and it's so pretty.
There will be silk aplenty when we arrive, if you so wish.
Sweet.
Be wary, the journey is long. We have many hours yet to travel, as you, so politely took away my easiest transportation.
Well, it's not like we could have kept pace with you anyway, so...
No, you could not. Come along,
Are we
then.
required to leave now, or...?
Indeed. Sooner the better. Night will be falling soon, and I don't trust your eyes to keep track of me in the dark.
Okay.
Then away we
I
go.
suppose away we go.
As it skitters down the side, moving in this unnatural kind of jerky gait. Its upper body seeming to kind of twist side to side a little bit as its legs skitter forward. It leads you along a path. Do you guys want to go into any particular marching order or do anything before you follow?
After the comment of this all fucking happened when she was 8, Ray is glued to May.
Okay.
Ark is by
I'll
the
be like in the middle.
Okay.
Sorry.
Ark's by the spiders, trying to talk to them as often as possible.
Okay. Duly noted. You are thoroughly ignored.
Please swinging if possible.
Lee is what?
Swinging.
Swinging? Alright, yeah. You are able to swing decently, easily enough. Alright. You guys travel for about an hour, and your true sight fades, Yukio.
Yes. I will say that I do want to recast it when we are close, like basically at his lair.
Okay.
But
The first hour of travel leads you deep into the woods, and after that hour's end, you begin to understand what Mugen, the archer and novice or amateur demon hunter, meant, as the trees themselves begin to twist. The bark grows gray, almost purple in parts. The leaves seem to be faded, almost turning to a milky white. And the trunks and branches have these sharp, jagged angles to them and twists that just don't seem like natural growth. And all around, you notice threads of web. Sparse here and there. And as you continue to travel for another hour, it begins to
I
get...
stopped swinging at that point.
I was going to say, it eventually begins to get too thick for you to comfortably swing through, at least for your own sense of safety. As you drop down on to kind of walk next to your allies, the second hour of travel, the woods grow eerily quiet. You begin to hear not the sound of animals or classic forest sound, but you begin to hear the quick cracking of branches moving. And
reminds me of Deep Nest already.
yeah, for anybody who has Sirenscape up, hopefully it's playing sounds.
It
Not
wasn't
getting
working for me.
anything.
Yeah, I haven't been getting anything tonight.
I've been getting the default music, but
Oh.
nothing at the moment.
I'm getting very, like, I just
it's
have to
very
max
quiet.
out the volume.
Yeah, same.
Oh yeah,
If I
that's
max it out, I can
creepy
hear it.
ass fucking.
Oh, I hear it now.
Don't like the picture accompanying it.
Yeah.
Put that out there.
Oh, you mean the giant motherfucking monstrous spider creature?
Oh no, I was just looking at a picture of myself. Sorry.
Fair.
I-
Self-res. Oh!
I figured
Boom.
there would be more bug noises.
What?
That's why it made me think
What?
of Deep Nest.
Make me a quick bug noise.
I mean,
Chittering.
like skittering
chittering
and
noises.
clacking and
I was like,
occasional chirps and.
the occasional bug howl.
Oh!
Have you ever played Hollow Knight? Because there's a zone called Deep Nest where it's basically.
No,
just
no,
insect
man.
noises.
All you really have to do is stick your head like up to a fucking. How did you grow up in Ohio? Well, did you grow up in Ohio? Bug noises are very common in
There we
Ohio.
go.
I'm from Florida.
That's even worse.
They're drowned out by the gators and the flamingos.
And
Sounds
the
like a
meth.
dad has tackled an
Yeah,
alligator.
and the meth.
And the
I don't
Florida
think we're worrying
man.
about bug noises.
Excuse me, it's heroin.
Yes.
I do not fear the Florida man, for I am the offspring of the Florida man.
Yes.
So wait,
Literally,
what you're telling me is you can't hear the bug noises over the sound of gators breaking bones and the scream of meth heads.
Yes.
To be clear,
This
it's the
man's
gator's bones that are
father-
breaking, and it's the meth heads that are doing it.
Yeah.
This man's father jumped out of a car on the side of a highway to grab like a 4-foot-long alligator, put it in the back seat, and gave it to 2 children, and brought it back to where he lived at a campground.
They
Take
wanted
pictures
to
with it.
see. They wanted to see an alligator. Sounds like an accommodating fella to me.
He gave the alligator to 2 children in the back seat of the car to hold. Here, hold
Yeah,
this until we
that's-
get there.
He duct
Completely
taped their mouth.
irresponsible.
He duct taped their mouth.
Slightly
If-
less irresponsible.
if
Still
mine-
irresponsible.
It might have been scotch tape.
Yeah, you don't know.
Oh, not the gator. That'd be inhumane.
Not the gator, that'd be inhumane! The children, to quiet down the screams!
I don't want to hold them.
Damn it, Rob.
My dog thinks I'm dying.
Well, now that we've shit all over the tense mood I built,
I'm so sorry.
it's alright. So,
I'm not.
no, I know you're not.
D&D at its finest.
Exactly. You hear the sounds of light feet moving along and the faint call of the occasional predatory bird. And many of you get the sensation that you are being watched. And as you glance
Thanks, I hate
around,
it.
looking into the woods in the fading light, you see occasionally a collection of shiny, beady eyes.
I'll just kind of say quietly to the group, I guarantee you we're surrounded. So don't try anything stupid. Looks at Architect.
Oz starts putting his hand back
Un
into his bag
segundo.
and withdrawing it slowly.
While I collect your guys' tokens. Because this could go badly.
This could go badly.
You knew that going into
Ideally,
this.
It does not.
Is May like tensing up as we get closer and closer?
I don't know, May, are you tensing up as you get closer and closer?
Sure, yeah, I ain't happy.
Yeah, Ray's like climbing onto your back and doing that thing that cats do when they can tell you're nervous. Just sort of like around your shoulders.
So my biggest concern here is what are we gonna trade this guy back? Like,
Death? I don't know.
because if we don't give him something, he's not gonna tell us. I'm almost certain. And if we try to kill him, he's really not gonna tell us.
Well, we just have to
So-
see what he... Well, we go in, we see what he wants, and if we can give it, we give it. If we can't, then we'll have to find another lead.
Maybe we can trade a favor of sorts like we did with Asano.
Maybe. I would
Although
be
what this thing
skeptical of
wants
doing
is- Yeah, exactly.
whatever a
Yukio's not
demon...
fond of it either, but
Yes, Architect?
Architect, once we get into a bit closer, like right around where we are on the map, he's going to stumble and go ow, and try to get these spiders to stop and wait
Okay.
as he sits on the ground holding his ankle.
The lead spider moves another couple feet and then turns and looks back and says, "A problem, human?"
Oh, I just stumbled a little bit. Can you give us 1 second? Us meteor beings get thirsty. We're gonna get a quick drink, and we'll be good to go. Is that all right?
Of course, Father is just in the clearing up ahead.
Got it.
Take your time. As
Of
it
course.
quickly moves through the trees and makes its way forward.
Man, I'm really glad I'm immune to fear.
Okay. Drink up, thirsty boys, and I'm gonna start handing out potions.
That was pretty clever, actually.
Okay.
I'm going to give everybody in the group a elixir of except for Flyy Boy.
Yukio?
No, please do. Mine takes concentration, and I like having
Okay.
concentration.
An elixir. Everyone's going to receive an elixir of flight, an elixir or a potion of healing, and a potion of resilience. And Cirrus, Yuki, Zavis, and Lee are going to receive a potion of boldness.
So 2 potions?
3?
Everybody gets 4.
Oh, everybody.
Do
gets
potions
4.
stack in D&D? What the fuck?
I mean, you
The
can have
potion-
multiple effects active.
Ah,
Yes.
okay.
The thing I need to look up now is does the temporary HP stack?
No.
No.
You take
That-
whatever is
no,
the
never
highest
does.
amount.
Never does.
Okay,
Okay.
potion of healing, potion of resilience, potion of flying.
And potion. Oh yeah, you didn't receive the potion of boldness.
Resilience. Okay.
Resilience,
Let me read-
healing, and flying.
What brand of potion of healing?
It's specific to the artificer. It's 2d4 plus 5 since I made it.
Gotcha.
And what does the resilience do?
You gain +1 to your AC for 10 minutes.
I'm gonna chug that bitch. Well, I guess I could wait.
And
I
then
mean, we might as well do it now.
Yeah. I'll
For the-
chug a potion of resilience.
for the 4 that received the boldness, which was Lee, Yuki, Zavis, and Cirrus, you guys get the drinker can roll a d4 and add that number rolled to every attack roll and saving throw they make for the next minute.
Basically, you get affected by the bless feature for 1 minute.
Nice.
Okay. So it was-
Resilience, healing, and flying for
Mhm.
everybody, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
And you can roll temporary hit points on all 3 of those. Whichever one is the highest set, you take.
and it's,
Which is
Okay.
2d6 plus 5.
okay. I'll go ahead and
6,
down all
9.
but the healing potion, I guess.
Yeah.
14. Oh yeah, I'll drink the flight one too, I guess.
And I'll roll 3 sets of temporary hit points.
So, Cameron, the boldness one only lasts a minute, so that's like we're gonna.
Well, I want to do it like. Okay, yeah, I guess I'll hold on to it then. 2d6 plus 5. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. So 13 for me.
15. Okay.
How do you do the custom?
If you click on the little die icon in the bottom left, it'll bring up a bunch of little hedrons that you can click on for each each type of die, d4, d6, d8, etc.
Yeah. I tried to
If you
do
click
a
it multiple
strength
times,
check
it'll-
earlier with my. I tried to do a strength check earlier with my custom item, and it didn't work out very great. So I'm going to be using custom rolls from now on for that.
Neato.
And during this time, I'll go ahead and recast True Seeing as well.
Okay.
Arcs
Just
of G.
in case he's about to do some sneaky stuff.
Make a perception check.
Okie dokie. Let me
We're in danger.
get back to my skills because I was just scrolling over to my spells to mark off my my use of my reagents. That's a dirty 20.
Dirty 20. All right.
Dirty
As your
20.
true seeing activates and you look around, there are thousands of silk strands all
Oh.
around. So many that it's almost nauseating to look at. Like it creates this weird blurring effect as you sweep your vision across. It makes it hard to look around quickly without getting like vertigo.
Mhm.
Oh.
Very unsettling. There are lots. And you see they are, several of them, lightly twitching and vibrating all over as movement travels along them. This whole twitching, vibrating, jittering mass of web that extends as far as you can see in every direction.
Poop.
You guys ready to approach?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
Fuck us up, Captain.
As you all take kind of a deep breath and steel your nerves, you stride forward another 40 or 50 feet into a very small clearing. As you do, you become immediately aware of many sets of eyes all around you. And you see one twisted dark tree that's almost like its trunk itself is almost crescent shaped, to the center of it seeming to have been like pressed in, creating this almost like bent half moon section, very wide, and it seems to go up and lean over. It's this very unnatural growth. Imagine like a bent like celery stalk, as the interior seems to be hollowed out. And you see as the canopy of the tree kind of spreads and creates this almost like doming like effect, just numerous silk strands, all suspending a singular figure. A man in a simple dark brown kimono with a black belt around his waist. His skin is deathly pale, like corpse-like. His eyes are in a more sensible array, with two almost human-like eyes, or almost humanoid-like eyes, and then the other 6 arrayed kind of in like down below, to the side, and above, creating this these almost like fanning look around either side. His skin is marked with these strange, thin purple lines kind of moving through in a iridescent way. As he moves his head, you see spiderwebbing patterns across his skin, as if glittering in the thin moonlight that streams through. And the thing that you notice immediately is, unlike the black eyes of all the rest of these, the eyes of this demon are a distinct sanguine color, with just black pupils. The sclera and iris are indistinct. It's just red, with black pupils on all of them.
Ray's going to mutter, "Beautiful."
The hair is long and hangs down just below the waist. The ends kind of wild and seeming to move and pull almost a little bit away from the body, almost in that like wispy way that cobweb does, as it kind of like catches air and floats to either side. He seems to simply be sitting on you don't know what, in a very like casual sort of manner, hands folded in his lap.
Is he at like our level?
He's about 10 feet above you.
Okay.
Kind of sitting up and back inside this throne of sorts, made of web and twisted tree. Yes, Architect?
Architect would like to speak.
Okay.
Architect's going to say loud enough for him to hear, but not quite a scream, or a yell, or just a reasonable volume.
Speaking up.
Yes, that's the words. Wow, you are beautiful. May I approach? Is that okay? You won't kill me if I approach, right?
What a meaty lad.
He simply smiles at you, his eyes not blinking at all.
Is there a different language? Was it a volume
Yes,
issue?
Architect, I think we can approach him. Just don't do anything stupid.
Well, just don't make me look stupid. Okay.
You do
I'll
that yourself.
shut the fuck up. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna come closer because you are just magnificent to look at.
How close do you get? You're about 30 feet away at this point.
I'm going to come forward about another 10 feet.
Okay. He was kind of looking over the lot of you, and as you approach, his eyes, or as you spoke up, his eyes locked on you, and unblinking followed you those 10 feet that you moved. His face a serene mask.
Great. So from what I hear and what I'm seeing, I'm getting the impression that your intelligence matches your appearance. I can only imagine you know a lot of stuff for the right price, am I right?
I know a great many things.
Oh, wonderful. We've officially got a line of conversation going here. What does it take to know some of the things you know?
Depends on what you're looking for, what you want to find.
Oh, that is a really good point. Guys, I don't know what I'm looking for.
Maiden, how have you been?
Like that?
A great deal lonelier than I used to be, thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, I'm gonna. Zavis is muttering under his breath in Draconic.
Word has reached my ear that you come seeking something old.
Indeed. If nobody else does anything, then Yukio will walk up a bit. Suppose I best just cut to the chase. We are seeking the scales of Orochi said to be housed in this forest.
His laugh being unsettling, and you hear it echoed in the raspy laughter all around you. Very old indeed, and very hard to find.
Is it hard to find for a normal person, or is it even hard for you to find?
I know exactly where it is.
Oh, I imagine you would. You're very intelligent. Is this a disguise? Do you normally look like this, or is this a disguised self?
Maiden, I'm very happy you've come home.
Oh,
I'm not home.
But you are.
You already took my home from me.
A difference in perspective, perhaps.
Perhaps.
I can tell you what you want, give you the answers you seek, help you find what you're looking for. I could even grant you a path, safe travel, for as far as my domain will stretch.
Yukio will ask now. And the price for this?
He just looks at May. This very small smile plays across his face.
What else could you physically ask of me? You have literally taken everything from me. You said, welcome home. You expect me to live with you? What?
Yes.
So you're saying we trade May for information?
I'll take her, and you all can have what you're looking for. I'll point you.
Why would you want me?
That is completely out of the question.
I want you because you represent unfinished business.
I I hurt your pride by living. You couldn't kill an 8-year-old, huh?
How do you think you survived?
I do think the Kodama helped me.
And why do you suppose that is?
I assume they're not particularly fond of you.
The webbing seems to kind of lax a little bit as he seems to almost like lean forward as it kind of drifts him down a little bit closer to the ground as he leans forward, and he goes, "They helped you and protected you because there is something inside you. And I want it." So,
I have literally no idea what that means.
that's not exactly the point, now is it? And his head kind of cocks over towards Yukio, almost moving, like, quickly. Okay, I've got multiple hands up. Zavis, you were first.
Mine's not up.
Zavis, you were first. What are you thinking?
During this conversation, this guy seems shady to me. I want to cast my Divine Sense, and well, I'm sure you know what Divine Sense does. I can sense anything that's like celestial, fiend, undead within 60 feet.
Yeah.
Because I'm actively seeing if I could sense the scale if it were here.
Does it give you a sense of scale?
No sense of what we're looking for. Isn't it the scale of Orochi?
Scales of Orochi.
Yeah.
The scales? Oh.
Because I imagine if it's a demon, it would still feel like a fiend or an undead, or if it were.
You open your senses for a moment to the divinity that you've attuned to yourself towards, and you immediately get As Zavis, you've been punched in the face a few times in your life. This is like somebody swung a sledgehammer into your nose. Like the sensation of this overwhelmingly powerful fiendish force it hits you and almost makes you reel back. You do not sense what might be you don't really sense anything other than Shujingumo and the numerous little fiendish presences around you.
Alright, Zavis does a weird, like he's been punched, maybe has a little blood coming out of his nose.
Lee, what were you doing?
Architect had his hand up before.
Okay, Architect?
To keep it fast, I'm gonna lean over to Yukio when he's talking about what's inside me and be like, "I think she ate one of the pine cones also."
Okay. Lee.
I was wondering two things. Are we in... Is this forest like dim light or darkness?
At this point, yes.
Right now?
It's almost sunset. It's very dim.
And we're closer than we're arrayed right now in roll 20, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
I can
about
move you.
30
I can
feet.
move your party up. You would be. Sorry, let me get you. So many tab. Yeah, I would put you guys like here at this point with Shujin Gumo there.
Okay, that's it.
All right. Yes, May?
Do I actually have any inclination what he was talking about at all?
You don't really know.
They're like, okay.
You know that you could always kind of see the forest spirits, and you were friends with the Kodama when you were little. Obviously, the trauma of your past has largely blocked out a lot of your childhood. There are large chunks of it you really don't remember, and probably couldn't if you tried. But you always remember being a friend of the forest spirits, and that's as much as you can remember.
Okay.
Yes, Ray.
Ray's going to lean in and go, revenge now or thought first?
Not
Whatever.
now. They will eat us.
Yuki.
Well, yes. Sometimes it's worth it.
I was just wondering, how do I see Shujin Gumo? since I have my true
Yes.
seeing active.
You are aware of this form that you see Shujingumo in. You can see arrayed behind it a truly massive, armored carapace body of a large demon spider with a man's upper torso, his face having a large pair of fangs hanging from them, and his upper body robed similarly in the kimono that you see, but you see strands of silk coming off the sleeves and arraying back down and all around, leading into that just innumerable web. Yes,
Does
Ray?
it happen?
Sorry, Yukio, finish your thought, then we'll go to Ray.
Does his sort of armored-looking form happen to resemble Scales?
No.
Okay. That was one of my theories anyway, so thank you for reminding me to ask. Appreciate it.
Ray, what was your question?
Since Yukio has been acting as the mouthpiece, in some part for this conversation, Ray will kind of like scuttle down from May, lean up toward Yukio and go, We've been promised safe passage. What he's asking is a lot? Maybe just ask for some time to think.
I mean, we were promised safe passage here.
No,
which we received.
We were offered safe passage through his domain.
If we comply.
Directionality unspecified.
You will remember specifically, an architect remembers the wording exactly, is you will not be attacked while you travel with me. Do not worry. But in looking around, you do not see your little spider guide.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Bitch.
architect?
Gumo did offer us safe passage, but only if we gave up May in order to get what we seek.
I a baby.
Yes, architect?
Architect is going to go from the general bubbly cheerfulness that he's been exuding this whole time to a very stern and solemn expression, and take one big step forward towards the Spider-Man, the Venom, and tell him very directly, I'm going to put aside the fact that I find you extremely fascinating, that I'd love to learn more about you, and tell you outright, you will not receive May. We can trade in other means, but you are not taking her.
He, for the first time really in this brief conversation he's had, he turns and he looks to you and he addresses you frankly. He simply says, well, what do you have to offer that could be so valuable?
I'm going to take my little robot dog out, my little best friend companion, and I'm going to break him in half and take his core out. Which is a...
I'm gonna take out my best friend and break him in half and take out his insides.
Which is
Relatable?
Where'd it go? A black sapphire.
He looks at it and goes, well, that's a good start. Not quite equal to what I'm looking for and to what I want.
I couldn't sell her for more than 1,000 gold. This is perfectly adequate.
Thought you meant me. Wait, you do mean me. That's so mean.
No, human man. It is not adequate. It is not adequate because I say it is not adequate. What else do you have to offer? What else are you willing to part with?
Unfortunately, I don't have anything.
You can't have me. I would give you my pearl of power or even my armor if you would take it. I don't want to go with you.
Armor is also good. Still not enough. What else?
My armor's made of adamantine. It's better
Yes.
than nothing.
It is valuable, as is that sapphire. I would take them both. And what else do you have to offer?
Guys, I'm pretty sure he's gonna take everything.
Not everything. As long as we leave with... As long as we leave with what we can't part with, it's fine.
I only carry things I can't part with.
Convenient.
I mean,
Lee
why would you
says,
carry something useless? You know?
what do you think of this? And he slides out. Oh shit, I forgot its name.
Sabimaru.
Sabimaru?
Yeah. Sabimaru. And Shadow steps behind him and stabs him.
Alright.
Alright, I guess.
Everybody roll initiative.
For us. Shit.
Fuck yeah, boys!
But the only problem is, now how do we know where to go?
Oh man, my roll was shit. I rolled a 12.
I got a good roll, but I accidentally closed all of roll 20 in the excitement.
Nice
Not to be that
Turn
guy,
that shit down.
but a time check would be
Yeah.
good.
I'm feeling that too.
Are we wanting to hold off and continue this next week? We have been
It
playing
is
for a while.
That's a good stopping point.
It is, it's 1:15 here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
As good a stopping point as any.
you don't
Yeah,
work
so
tomorrow.
we're gonna be in combat for probably like the next 40 minutes or so.
At least.
It could be a long combat.
Can we put in initiatives and just save those?
Yes, we can.
Well,
So
maybe
let's.
I can just redo.
How about not save the initiatives? How about we just roll those again? New time!
Nope,
Yeah.
nope. People want to sync the initiatives.
So,
I was
Kyler,
just asking if we could.
Yes.
Shadow Step is a bonus action, and
Yep.
it's like an instant teleport.
Yeah,
Are you giving at least me a surprise around here?
absolutely.
Okay,
Oh yeah.
cool.
I
I was-
doubt he was expecting
I
that
was
at all.
So desperately hoping that you would do something. As soon as you said, "How about this?" I was like, "There's no way in hell he's giving up Sabimaru. This is gonna be good."
I was really surprised, and then you said shadow stuff, and I'm like,
All right.
That's way cool.
You guys haven't seen
I
me
see
do
you.
this, by the way.
Yeah,
shadow stuff.
yeah. No, Shadow Step is
Not done
new,
this yet.
new for you anyway.
We got the scariest feed right here with us. Fuck. Fighting for us.
All right. So
Where are we putting initiatives? Here in chat?
Wherever. I will ask you what you guys got for the ones that I don't have filled in.
I just put mine in there. We can only put our own in the roll 20 thing. Hellboy.
Music, though, dude.
I didn't know you could type in your own initiative. I just learned
Yep.
something
Only your
new.
own though.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
I didn't know
if
that.
somebody else enters an initiative while you are typing yours, it will reset it back to 0, and you have to click on it again and start typing again.
I
So
just
that's kinda
noticed that.
annoying,
Guys, I love killing demons.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Did
well,
you?
you're about to get a lot of it, because the last set of bugs we fought damn near killed Nay several times over.
Haha. These are different bugs.
Hopefully
Arachnids.
Zavitz gains a little bit more respect for Lee after this move.
Mm-hmm.
He never said he didn't respect you.
Oh, I don't think he doesn't respect me. I'm saying even more.
And thankfully, what's his name? Ark didn't give in to Ray's verbal assault. So when May inevitably goes down to the bugs again, I can bring her back up.
Verbal assault?
You called Ark a fucker because he wouldn't give his diamond to May. I also have Revivify.
Ray, likes May better than you.
All right.
Can you blame her?
I think I just earned May brownie points, though.
You did.
You're gonna make me brownies? Fuck yeah.
Ray, what did you get for your
5.
5? All
oh,
right.
honey, no.
This many.
So
I got this many.
we will have Lee starting off his attack when we come back with May at the top of the turn order after. So, let me turn down my hissing and chittering.
See, this is what I was expecting you to play when we got into the forest. This kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's swap back to something a little bit more cheery.
Why?
Please don't let me forget.
We're all about to die!
Please don't let me forget to use Potion of Boldness
'Kay.
when we start combat next.
I'll
Alright.
post the Potion of Boldness effect so that when we start next
Can you
time-
do it in roll 20?
Yeah.
So that it's just
Alright.
in there as a reminder.
Thank you guys for hanging out and sticking with our relatively late game. We appreciate you sticking through our technical difficulties and our late start. This has been a lot of fun. I thoroughly enjoyed this session because the meat and potatoes of how I play game is RP, and we've had a lot of combat, funnily enough. So, thank you. Stick with us. We will see you next week, and have a good one.